system blown up. That's why Trump, or that's why Cruz.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This year, that's where Republican voters are at.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to drill down and talk about the big ideas behind the big issues. That's where Upstream Ideas comes in. Upstream Ideas, online at upstream-ideas.com, in partnership with the Illinois Policy Institute, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted orthodoxies. In other words, Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now to upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to spur you on to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit more free, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
5:06 in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. Let's get the very latest this early morning with Jim Talamonte. Good morning, Jim.
Mike, as voters go to the polls in Northwest Indiana, there's some traffic issues there. I-65 northbound, north of 113th Avenue. There's an overturned vehicle blocking the right lane. Eastbound 94 has slowed traffic from the Indiana Toll Road to State Road 249. That's due to road work in the right lane scheduled till 2 o'clock Friday afternoon. And of course, the Indiana Toll Road in that same area has delays, heavier delays, due to the long-term work. It's slow from 94 to be 449 westbound in that same area, and also in both directions east of 421. The Chicago expressways look great. Express lanes have opened on the Kennedy on the inbound side. Traffic is a service of Subway. All May at Subway, get a free delicious 6-inch breakfast sandwich when you buy any sandwich before 9 a.m., making May the best month ever. That's right, all month long before 9 a.m. Your breakfast is free when you buy any sandwich you'd like. The Subway Sandwich Shop. Fresh is what they do. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answers starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. Here is our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Partial sunshine today with a late afternoon shower in spots with a high of 68. Then a couple of showers mainly later tonight with a low of 46. Tomorrow, breezy and cooler with a shower in the area during the day with a high 53. Then clearing at night with a low 39. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
42 at O'Hare, 47 along the lakefront. It is 37 in Aurora. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Kelly Financial Services, helping you secure your financial future today. Visit kellyfinancialservicesinc.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So it's primary day in Indiana. Can Trump close it out today?
Oh, you think so?
We're going to talk to Katrina Pearson. You've seen her before, the national spokesman for the Trump 2016 presidential campaign. We'll talk to her at the top of the 7 o'clock hour. That should be illuminating.
Is she in Indiana today with the Trumpster? Or she moved on to California?
We'll find out. I'm not sure they need to move on to California. Survey out yesterday. Survey USA poll found Donald Trump up 34 points.
What?
Yeah.
All these polls are so dramatically different. Well, I mean, Donald Trump last night, he was in Indianapolis. I mean, they're all over the place yesterday. He already declared victory, Dan, and he always says that he doesn't care whether or not Ted Cruz endorses him.
If we win, it's over. And then I can focus. Then I don't have to worry about lying Ted Cruz, and I don't care if he endorses me or does. I couldn't care less. But I don't have to worry about lying Ted Cruz. We don't have to worry about Kasich, who's 1 and 44.
Yeah, it's over. According to Donald, I mean, if you live in Indiana, you're listening to the show, it's, don't even bother voting because he won. Not the message I'd be sending if I was Donald Trump.
And what message would you be sending?
I would be, go out and vote. I wouldn't be counting your chickens before they're hatched. Just a little humility. Try and be a little humble. Might be better because the election is today. People still have to get up and go out and vote.
Well, there's a couple closing arguments being made by the Cruz campaign. One by his father, Rafael. This is a specific appeal to ministers and their flocks in Indiana.
One of the challenges we have had is this. If the righteous are not running for office, if the righteous are not even voting, what is left? The wicked electing the wicked, and it becomes our fault. So I exhort every member of the body of Christ to vote according to the Word of God and vote for the candidate that stands on the Word of God and on the Constitution of the United States of America. And I am convinced that man is my son, Ted Cruz. The alternative could be the destruction of America.
Yeah, there's been no couching what the Cruz campaign believes will be wrought on America if Trump is elected. And you heard it there. I mean, Ted Cruz has said things similar, the destruction of America. And Cruz has been more specific, the son, that is, Ted, about losing the Supreme Court for a generation and religious freedom and gun rights and these other things being potentially in jeopardy because of Donald Trump's rather unpredictability, as he would call it, with respect to his positions on these core issues. So that's part of it. Ted Cruz himself tried to make some closing arguments yesterday, and he ran headlong into a few Trump hecklers, both outside his rally venues and inside. Why don't we start outside? Not a lot of people have heard this fun exchange.
Can fill out our taxes on a postcard. And when we do that, all right, apparently there's a young man who's having some problems. Thank you, son. I appreciate your sharing your views. One of the things that hopefully someone has told you is that children should actually speak with respect. Imagine what a different world it would be if someone had told Donald Trump that years ago.
Yeah, so you suck was Ted Cruz's rejoinder to you suck. I tell you what, one of the things that...
And that came from the mouth of a teenager?
I don't know how old he was, but he was a young man, as Ted Cruz described him. One of the things, Donald Trump has spent a little bit of time talking about temperament, the importance of temperament, because he was asked about Ted Cruz being potentially a Supreme Court nominee, and he said he'd have to think about that because he has some questions about temperament. Well, I'll tell you what, whether you're a Ted Cruz fan or not, it's difficult to argue that Ted Cruz has been anything other than unflappable the entire campaign, his entire political career. Try and find an instance where Ted Cruz raises his voice. I have not heard one.
Well,
So
he projects, when he speaks, but that's not a loud voice.
No, but losing his cool. For someone who is supposed to be this unhinged right-wing extremist, according to some, boy, he is very room temperature, very matter-of-fact, very together, as I said, unflappable, and he gives responses to the most kind of boorish, lowbrow behavior like that.
Yeah, and one thing, they tried to make an issue because over the weekend, Carly Fiorina introduced him, and she accidentally had a Gerald Ford moment. Yeah. She fell off the stage. And they tried to make that a big deal. Ted Cruz wasn't even near her to try and help her. They're just grasping at straws here to try and bring him down. But the best thing
they want to talk about anything other than what matters.
Right, exactly. And the best thing that he did was Ted Cruz was confront those two Donald Trump supporters out, because he could have walked away and walked around them like most candidates do. But he was outside one of the arenas, and these two guys holding Trump signs, and they were a bunch of bullies too. These guys, their whole intention was to get on the news and make news.
Well, it was just it was one guy really that was the focus of the back and forth, and
it looked like he had his union behind him,
Well, that's right.
Take him down.
There was other people just standing there holding the Trump signs, but listen to this exchange between yet another Trump heckler and Ted Cruz. And you tell me if you're, attaboying this Donald Trump supporters. This is the kind of representation you would like to see from the Trump campaign.
So you like rich people who buy politicians?
Where's your Goldman Sachs jacket at? We know your wife works there.
Actually, I was supported by 1.3 million contributions all over the country. Our average contribution is $60. On immigration, Donald Trump had $1 million judgment against him for hiring illegal aliens. You know what he's doing right now in Florida? He brings in hundreds of foreign workers instead of hiring Americans. Sir, with all respect, Donald Trump is deceiving. He is playing you for a chump. And ask yourself two questions. Why is it that the mainstream media so wants Donald Trump to be the Republican candidate? And why is it that John Boehner supports Donald Trump? Do you agree with John Boehner? Do you agree with Nancy Pelosi?
The thing is that I don't agree with everybody, but I believe in Trump. He's the only one that's going to put us where we need to be. What are you going to do about the Second Amendment?
Okay, great question.
What are you going to do about the Second Amendment?
Yeah. All right.
This clip cut in later than there was a back and forth where Cruz was answering questions and the Trump supporter was just saying, "Lying Ted." It was just, lying Ted.
And he was such a coward. He had sunglasses on too. Show your face.
Well, it was just a bizarre exchange. You're talking to someone and he's ridiculing the whole time, and Ted Cruz is just answering his questions or his ridicule, like you heard there in part, and he's just screaming to the audience, "Lying Ted," like an automaton. It was just bizarre, but none of this matters. I understand for a lot of Trump supporters, Trump's 180s on positions don't matter. What happened in his business career doesn't matter. They're very comfortable living in glass houses to say, on the one hand, whatever Donald Trump's does in the context of his business, including bankruptcies and failures, is okay. Carly Fiorina makes a bad decision with a Compaq purchase.
Yeah.
And
it's the
she's
worst thing in the world.
She's an idiot, despite the fact she was the CEO of a company that has a larger market cap than most states. Right? So there's no consistent application of a standard by many Trump supporters. And so very much like the candidate that is just as uninterested in talking issues in any detail if they're not scripted, you get the ridicule. And that's what Trump does. So I guess to some extent, supporters like the one that confronted Ted Cruz are a reflection of the candidate.
So who gets more votes because of people that are endorsing them? I mean, yesterday, Governor Pence, actually was with Ted Cruz with Dana Bash, but he didn't say anything. I mean, he just stood next to him and they were by a lake. I don't know if you saw it, but it was strange.
Will you support his candidacy if he, Donald Trump, gets the delegates before Cleveland?
Dana, nobody's going to get to 1237. I'm not going to get to it, but neither is Donald Trump.
What makes you so sure he won't get the delegates? I mean, getting 47% of the remaining delegates isn't inconceivable at all.
Well, he hasn't gotten 47% to date. That's better than he's done, and I'll tell you.
But he sure did well last week.
You're right. He did well in his home state, and he did well in the adjoining states.
So, I mean, Ted Cruz doesn't see that this is over anytime soon.
Well, of course, that's the position he has to take. And if he wins Indiana today, which I'm skeptical he will, but if he does win Indiana, then it's not over. You could still have the possibility of contested convention. The problem is, this is not dispositive. Winning Indiana today is dispositive for Trump. It's over. It's not dispositive for Cruz in terms of prompting a contested convention. Trump can still win, as you heard Dana Bash kind of reference. Trump can still get to 1237 without winning Indiana because of states like New Jersey and West Virginia that are left, as well as the lead that he apparently is building in California, and so the margin of victory he could enjoy there. So, unfortunately, Cruz, even though he should be the nominee, Donald Trump is going to be the Republican Party's nominee.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Another gorgeous day. We're going to have partly sunny skies, a shower in spots late this afternoon, but a high near 70 degrees. And then tomorrow we dip back down into the 50s with a chance of a shower and cooler, of course, near the lakefront. Let's get those travel times and say good Tuesday morning to Jim Telemonte.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. I-65 northbound. Traffic is stop and go from 231 in Crown Point to be 409th Avenue. There's a rollover semi there blocking the right lane. Indiana Toll Road has construction delays in both directions in the usual places due to the long-term road work. 94 is now looking pretty good. It was a little heavy eastbound near the toll road. There is some ongoing work there in the right lane. Chicago expressways, so far so good. No delays to report on the Edens, Kennedy, the Eisenhower, the Stevenson, or the Rhine. Bishop Ford's getting a little heavy approaching the Rhine. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
Have you found a gift for your mom on Mother's Day yet?
It's Mother's Day?
Yeah, this Sunday, May 8th.
It's May?
Man, you better get on it.
Well, the gas station down the street from me sells
No,
cards.
you cannot get your mom a Mother's Day gift at the same place you buy pork rinds.
Well, I can't imagine what else I'd get her.
You should get her a heartstrings customized locket.
What's that?
It's a little glass locket you fill with charms. You can get them at the kiosk at Orland Square Mall and at Gurney Mills and the Macy's wing this weekend.
Sure, but what kind of charms would I pick out?
They have a locket specialist that will help. Maybe something that says special mom or birthstones for you and your presumably more grateful siblings. There are over 900 varieties of charms to pick from. They're really affordable, and I promise not to tell her.
You know, if this were one of those slice of life radio commercials, you'd tell me their web address right now.
You can also find them online at yourheartstring.com. That's YOUR heartstring.com.
All right, I suppose that's better than a card.
Good. Now what are you getting your wife?
Ugh.
Don't worry, Heartstrings customized lockets. Put your love in a locket. Now at Orland Square Mall and Gurney Mills. Find us at yourheartstring.com.
QL1, this is Control. Ground crew is secure. Over. Copy that, Control. Rockets powering up. Over. QL1, this is Control. Does Rocket Mortgage require me to fill out a bunch of paperwork? Negative, Control. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans is the first on-demand mortgage machine that quickly and seamlessly imports your financial data. You can go through the entire mortgage approval process in minutes. Copy that, QL1. That is fast, like rocket fast. Do you think that's why they named it Rocket Mortgage? Over. Affirmative, Control. That's probably why they named it Rocket Mortgage. It also works on any internet-ready device, so you can get a Rocket Mortgage at any time or place you choose. Roger that, QL1. So technically speaking, you could get a Rocket Mortgage at rocket speed from inside an actual rocket? Please just press the button, Control. Over. Copy that, QL1. 3, 2, 1. Rocket Mortgage at QuickenLoans.com. Push button, get mortgage. Rocket.
Visit for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
If you aren't one of my listeners who has already purchased a MyPillow and getting a better night's sleep, I need you to get on board. Mother's Day and Father's Day are almost here, and the 2-for-1 offer is still available with the promo code Joe. I won't list all the benefits. You've heard me do it so many times. Suffice it to say, the benefits are many, especially how much better you'll sleep and feel. I know I do. That's why I'm not surprised MyPillow was voted the official pillow of the National Sleep Foundation. It's the perfect gift for mom, dad, or you, and it's always good to know you're getting the best deal with the 2-for-1 offer. Hey, visit MyPillow.com or call 1-800-489-0201. Use the promo code Joe for the 2-for-1 offer. Do it now, 800-489-0201, or online at MyPillow.com. Promo code Joe, 800-489-0201. Do it now.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, if you're in the Hoosier State, give us a call and tell us who you're voting for today and why. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 646-368, turnkey.pro text line, talking Trump and Cruz and what may be Cruz's final stand, although just because even if he lost Indiana today, there's no indication that he would suspend his campaign and not play this out until June 7th, play out the rest of the primaries, which I think would make some sense for him, just in terms of positioning and still piling up delegates and his own kind of heft and leverage
well,
as
keeps
it comes
his name
to
out there.
Well, but it's also building leverage for the convention, for influence in the process going forward. Trump may say he doesn't care about Ted Cruz's endorsement, but he absolutely does, or he certainly should, because as the nominee, party unity will be his primary responsibility.
I mean, him saying that last night, I thought was a flippant comment, and it was just classless.
Flippant comment. I mean, that's what his stock in trade Rick in Valpo, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. And I want to follow up on that. I have been a Ted Cruz and Scott Walker supporter from the first times that I heard that they were running, but I could swallow really hard and vote for John Kasich, but there's not a snowball's chance in hell that I will vote for Donald Trump if he's the nominee. He is the rudest.
Yeah.
I understand, they're in a fight and they have to try to present themselves as being the most electable. But Donald Trump is, I don't see how he can be anybody that can bring the party together.
There's no circumstances under which you would vote for Donald Trump as the nominee.
If Donald Trump, well, I can't say it on the radio, what Donald Trump would have to do. No,
Okay.
absolutely under no
keep it clean
circumstance.
today.
All right, thanks for the call, Rick. It's interesting because Bill Kristol, who is one of the card-carrying members of Never Trump, he walked that back slightly. He said, I don't know if you can change your character, which is the main problem he has with Trump. I think it's sort of what Rick was saying. But
change the way he campaigns?
No, but I'm not going to say never. So I'm not going to say, yes, I would vote for him as the nominee, but I'm not going to say never. So there's a little bit of door opening that's happening, and I suspect that's going to happen with a lot of never Trumpers, but there will be some that sit out, there's no doubt. Michael in Riverside, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy. Yeah, I had similar feelings as that last caller. It seems as though Trump is adopting the Jeb strategy, and that is he will win without the support of the Republican conservative base. And my question to you, Dan, is what do you think the chances are of Trump winning if he does not secure a reasonable portion of the Republican base?
Thanks for the call, Michael. I would say, well, there's no chance if he doesn't consolidate the party. I mean, so the recent surveys that have it basically statistical that it's interesting. This actually bodes fairly well for Trump. They find like the Rasmussen poll that had it 39s, and then actually Trump up in a follow-up poll 41-39. So it's a dead heat. 75% of Democrats say they will vote for Hillary. So she's got some work to do among Democrats. 1 in 4 Democrats not on board yet if she's the nominee. 66% of Republicans for Trump. So that's good news, bad news. One, the bad news, he's got some work to do to consolidate the party. Clearly, when 1 in 3 Republicans are saying, I'm not sold on voting for Trump as the nominee. But the flip side, the good news is more upside than Hillary does. And I think, as I said, depending on what he does, there is an opportunity to bring people in and focus the nevers on never Hillary instead of never Trump. You're not going to get everyone. You're going to get people who say just in good conscience, I can't support either one of these two individuals. But I think that's ultimately going to be a fairly small percentage of the electorate.
Can you ever see Ted Cruz on the campaign stage or campaigning out with Donald Trump? I mean, do you see that ever happening?
I can, because Ted Cruz is a shrewd politician, and he is not going to want to wear the jacket as being kind of the lead iconoclast saying never Trump in the context of a general election if he wants to have if he wants to have a national political career, if he wants to recover from this campaign, build on what he has done, which is a lot here to raise his profile and build a national following and a national fundraising network, frankly. But it'll be interesting. There'll be a rapprochement at some point. It's not going to be, June 8th.
Right.
But I certainly think by the convention, unless Trump just implodes, which is always possible, you're going to have to present a unified front, or it's going to be a real problem for Trump. Here's the other problem. They need to present a unified front post-haste because the Democrats are preparing to spend $20 million on negative ads against Trump in June in swing states. They want to strangle him in the crib before he gets the opportunity to pivot for a general election. So there's a lot of action here, and I think Trump has a sense that that's coming, but he still needs to get his house in order, meaning the Republican Party, if he wants to be the strongest general election candidate he can be.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Flex Execs is a talent recruiting firm who, for almost 3 decades, has helped their clients become more competitive by identifying the right talent for interim assignments or special projects at the mid to senior level. Flex Execs' roster of talent is superior and unmatched. Flex Execs will help you meet your deadlines and goals, control costs, and place the right people who will deliver desired results. Whether you need one person or a team of people in HR, accounting, finance, marketing, operations, or senior leadership, Flex Execs can help. Their clients trust them to find the right people fast who produce results immediately. Connect online with Flex Execs at flex2016.com or call 630-655-0563 and ask for Chris Swanson or Karen Murphy. That's 630-655-0563 or online at flex2016.com. Flex Execs, proud to be a sponsor of Dan and Amy's Business Tour. Flex Execs online at flex2016.com. Flex2016.com. Flex Execs, moving business at the speed of trust.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up next on Chicago's Morning Answer.
West Virginia coal miners confront Hillary, and she responds like she always responds, by lying at 5:37.
But she does it with an accent. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. 44 degrees outside. Today is presidential primary day in Indiana. Republican hopeful Ted Cruz says his campaign can win if they stand as one in the state.
And if we continue to unite the nation, win the general election, we will beat Hillary Clinton and we will turn this great nation around.
Cruz endorsed by Indiana Republican Governor Mike Pence last week. Hillary Clinton says it was just a case of misspeaking when she vowed to put coal miners and coal companies out of business. During a campaign stop in West Virginia Monday, an out-of-work coal company worker confronted Clinton about her comments on CNN. Ohio Attorney General Mike DeWine says there's no information about a specific threat, but he is promising ample security today at the funeral for 6 of the 8 people shot and killed in rural southern Ohio. Authorities call the deaths of the Roden family members a planned attack. No arrests have been made. A South Carolina teen will find out later today if he'll serve more jail time for a plot to join ISIS and kill American soldiers. The teen is of Syrian heritage and wanted, according to prosecutors, to target North Carolina troops with the help of an unnamed radical Muslim, also from North Carolina. A suburban Buffalo Grove woman is fighting for her life after she was shot while driving home from the Wisconsin Dells. Tracy Chakowski was wounded in the neck Sunday while riding with her family on I-9094 near Lake Delton, Wisconsin. Andrea Zopp may soon become a Chicago deputy mayor. Sun-Times reporting Mayor Emanuel has offered the position to the former leader of the Urban League. She would be charged with overseeing major city projects. North Suburban Congressman Bob Dole is taking on student debt as he fights to keep his job from a challenger who's taken it before. Dole wants to give tax credits to business owners who help employees retire their student debt, and those employees would not have to declare that money as income. Chicago sports, Cubs over Pittsburgh 7-2. Chicago forward Artemi Panarin, Blackhawk, a finalist for the Calder Trophy as the NHL's top rookie. The news service of Subway. All May at Subway, get a free, delicious 6-inch breakfast sandwich when you buy any sandwich before 9 a.m., making May the best month ever. That's right, all month long before 9 a.m., your breakfast is free when you buy any sandwich you like. Subway Sandwich Shop. Fresh is what we do. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The battle for the Republican nomination is racing towards the convention this summer in Cleveland.
Nobody is going to have enough delegates. We are going to go to a convention. It's going to be open.
Can Trump be stopped?
The only campaign that has beaten Donald Trump and the only campaign that can beat Donald Trump is this campaign.
Will there be a third-party run?
Donald Trump is a phony, a fraud.
What happens next?
We should make it pretty easily based on what I'm seeing.
Happens here.
So we won't have to worry about fighting at a convention.
This is AM 560. The Answer.
Sales drive your business. Customers drive sales. GoDaddy helps you drive both with memorable domains, online marketing tools, and 24/7 help. Go you. GoDaddy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Howard. In my travels, I occasionally hear a Balance of Nature ad on the radio. These products are the culmination of my life's work, and I'm often surprised at my emotions that arise when people talk about how they have improved the quality of their life.
One thing that I'm amazed about is that prior to taking this, I was having hot flashes like almost every day, sometimes periodically, and haven't had them since then. So by all means, that's the one thing that I'm very grateful for.
These people are real. I'd like to thank the Balance of Nature customers for trusting me and for allowing me to help them in their pursuit of health.
Call now. Accept and complete Dr. Howard's 120-day challenge to earn a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Everywhere you go, the threat looms. It follows you no matter what you do. The longer you avoid the IRS and the financial difficulties you're going through, the closer they get to you. John DeWatt of Thinking Outside the Box Law Firm can help you end the feeling of being hunted by the IRS. If you've avoided taxes or could benefit from the life-saving assistance of bankruptcy, it's time you call John DeWatt. This is an attorney who is willing to take on the federal government on your behalf. He has worked to discharge thousands of dollars in penalties, and he can help you settle your debts once and for all. Call 888-777-4193. Let the hunters become the hunted. Let John DeWatt of Thinking Outside the Box Law Firm deal with the IRS personally. Call John for your own relief plan. 888-777-4193 or online at thinkingoutsidetheboxlaw.com. That's thinkingoutsidetheboxlaw.com.
5:37. Let's get an update on the roads in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On northbound I-65, traffic is stop and go from 231 to before 109th Avenue with a rollover semi in the right lane. Edens is fine. The Kennedy is looking good, too, with the express lanes open inbound. Inbound Eisenhower, just a little congested around Manheim. Inbound Stevenson, there's a 1 or 2 minute delay, Pulaski to Kedzie. Ryan, now getting heavier. It's 19 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford delays start at 111th, 22 minutes, 8094 to the merge. Traffic service of Grasshopper, the entrepreneur's phone system. Turn the world into your office with Grasshopper, the entrepreneur's phone system. Get a local or toll-free number or bring your own. You can even have your voicemails transcribed and emailed to you. See how it works at grasshopper.com, the entrepreneur's phone system. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
And Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Partly sunny and warmer today. We'll have a shower in spots late this afternoon and a high of 68. Currently 42 at O'Hare. Next news at 6. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Military Mortgage Talk with host Tony Gatliff. Sunday mornings at 9 on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues right now. And make sure to join me, Sean Hannity, this afternoon starting at 2, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So this is interesting, this text I got, Amy. The problem Trump will have is a circumstance of how citizens seem to think these days. I don't know if it's due to social media or what, but we're all just more polarized. The left is far to the left, the right is far to the right. People spend too much time vilifying the other side socially. Now that it's happening within the two parties, though far more so in the GOP, how do you suddenly like someone you've been warped into hating?
Oh, that's a very long text. Are you sure that wasn't an email?
It's a text to me.
Wow.
Yes,
okay.
on my phone. That can handle more than one text.
Okay,
yes.
that's good.
All right.
But that's a great question. How do you support somebody that you've hated for so long? It's, how do you turn a bad divorce into something positive?
Well, you know how the answer was given to us by Ozzie Guillen.
Oh, what?
This is my favorite story. I'm sure I've told this before.
No,
it's a favorite
you have not
story.
Told the story.
Ozzie Guillen.
Let me settle in here.
Ozzie Guillen and A.J. Pierzynski.
Yeah.
When A.J. Pierzynski came over to the White Sox from the Twins, Ozzie Guillen said of A.J. Pierzynski. A.J. Pierzynski is the kind of player that when he's on the other team, you hate him. And when he's on your team, you hate him just a little bit less. And that's what Trump is.
Wow.
When he's, not part of your team in the primary, you hate him.
Mm-hmm.
When he's on your team in a general election against Hillary, you don't love him. You hate him a little bit less in context because elections are exercises in moral relativism, some more difficult exercises than others. But it is a good question, and that's what a lot of people are going to be wrestling with. And I suppose that a lot of people would be wrestling with that if Ted Cruz were the nominee as well. Dave in South Bend, he's voting today. Hey, Dave.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, a point I wanted to make is, and I haven't heard it yet, is, with all the bantering back and forth with these candidates, more, some of them far more than others, I don't know if they understand they've been totally disrespectful to the electorate, because I work very hard at my job, and I come home, I have things to do at home, I'm trying to get, my exercise in, and I have very little time, and then I turn on the TV, and you know what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
And it's just not fair to the electorate. They're disrespectful, and it's all about themselves.
Dave, are you voting today?
Yes, I am.
Can I dare ask who you're voting for?
I'll vote for Cruz, and, I don't know. I suspect unless something really shocking happens, I would go ahead and vote for Trump. And to be honest, I heard you talking while I was on hold about how you would deal with voting for somebody that you really didn't want. And I think what I do is just vote for them and quit listening to the news and just wait for things to get better.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
Dave,
a good idea.
Before we let you go, does Lou Holt's endorsement of Donald Trump move the needle at all for you?
No athletes, no athlete or celebrity in any fashion affects what I think. And, I'm a Purdue guy, so when Bobby Knight endorsed Trump, ironically, I'm probably one of the few Purdue guys that really enjoyed enjoyed playing against the Bobby Knight teams because it was just really, really great competition.
Yeah.
Yet, I don't care either way what he says.
That's a great policy
Dave's
to
his
ignore
own man.
celebrities and athletes when it comes to important issues like public policy and political leadership. Thanks for the call, Dave.
And speaking of Lou Holtz, can I show you? He wasn't on stage with Donald Trump, but he tweeted something out. It's 22 seconds of why he's voting for Donald Trump.
Greetings. I'm Lou Holtz, and I wholeheartedly endorse Donald Trump as the next president of the United States. There are nothing but winners in Indiana. The main reason I'm endorsing him, I've played his golf course. I stayed in his hotel. He does nothing but go first class in everything. He wants his country to be first class as well. Thank you for listening.
There you go.
And he had on a Notre Dame shirt.
And because of that, Trump is now putting Play Like a Champion Today placards in all his hotels that you have to touch before you leave the hotel. That's the new feature coming to all the Trump properties. So the flip side, remember, Trump is not running against a ghost. He's running against Hillary Clinton.
Oh, and by the way, Lou Holtz gave money to Hillary Clinton back in 2008.
Well, just like Trump.
Yeah, just like Trump, too. Yeah, they have something in common.
Kindred spirits. So Hillary was in West Virginia doing a little town hall.
Excuse me, it's West Virginia. You got to talk with an accent.
Right.
I don't know if I'm doing
I
it right.
don't feel nowhere. Oh, God, stop. Oh, just
But
so
this town hall
despicable.
was-
So Joe Manchin arranged this for her, the senator from West Virginia, who, by the way, is Mark Kirk says is his best friend in the Senate.
Uh-huh.
Just FYI.
Oh, and by the way, Mark Kirk is skipping the Republican National Convention.
And that's fine.
Mhm.
Oh, he won't be missed. So she's there to try and dull the blade with coal miners after she said what she said, which is she's going to put a lot of coal miners out of work and a lot of coal mining companies out of business. The 11,000 coal miners in West Virginia who've lost their jobs, not ecstatic about that viewpoint, not ecstatic about that policy agenda. And one coal miner, a gentleman named Bo.
It's Bo.
Bo Copley.
Bo Copley.
He put that to Hillary.
The reason you hear those people out there saying some of the things that they say is because when you make comments like we're going to put a lot of coal miners out of jobs. These are the kind of people that you're affecting. This is my family. While my hope is in God, that's my future. I want my family to know that they have a future here in this state.
And Copley pushed a picture of his family right in front of Hillary's, a rather poignant moment. And
he had tears in his eyes. I mean, he was effective.
You could hear his voice crackle, and if Hillary had the capacity to feel human emotion, she would have felt it in that instance. Unfortunately, she doesn't.
Oh, no, she tried.
Well, I know. She tried. She just didn't have the capacity. I get it. And Copley went on to kind of put the question to her.
I just want to know how you can say you're going to put a lot of coal miners out of jobs and then come in here and tell us how you're going to be our friend, because those people out there don't see you as a friend.
And Hillary offered this fork-tongued response.
And it was a misstatement, because what I was saying is that the way things are going now, we will continue to lose jobs. That's what I meant to say, and I think that seems to be supported by the facts. I didn't mean that we were going to do it. What I said was that is going to happen unless we take action to try to help and prevent it. So I don't mind anybody being upset or angry. That's a perfect right for people to feel that way.
Thank you for
I
letting
do
me
feel
my
a little
feelings.
bit sad and sorry that I gave folks the reason or the excuse to be so upset with me, because that is not what I intended at all.
Yeah.
What pandering.
Okay.
Right.
lies?
So here's the thing. It's a simple follow-up. You're taken out of context. You didn't mean it, this and that. So do you believe in this administration's global alarmist agenda to put the coal mining out of business as an energy source, or don't you? Because Hillary Clinton has signed on in toto to that agenda. Solar panels and windmills that will subsidize rather than market price coal
mining, right,
that we can use. So it's real simple. We don't have to go back and forth on this context and it's real simple. Do you support that the administration's viewpoint and policy agenda, or don't you? And of course she does.
Yeah, but she lied to them and said she was taken out of context just to try and get the votes. I mean, their primary is May 10th. It's right around the corner. She needs their votes. And you know what's crazy about West Virginia? I don't even know if this is crazy, but tens of thousands of Democrats that are registered Democrats said that they were going to vote for Donald Trump.
Let me tell you something.
Because they are so sick of being lied to, and they want to be protected.
The reality is this is Hillary Clinton's last stop in West Virginia this cycle. Mitt Romney won that state by, 25 or 30 points. Donald Trump may win it by acclamation.
Oh, yeah. It could be the biggest blowout.
Yeah, so
ever.
West Virginia is not going to be on the map in the general election, and Hillary Clinton knows that. Interesting observation about the two candidates, since we're kind of comparing and contrasting. We're
already in the general, hypothetically.
A text from 773, the Republic is doomed, Trump versus Hillary. One belongs in a nut house, the other belongs in the big house. So that's the attitude of a lot of people. Right now, you've got about 1 in 4 that are sitting it out. Now, that'll change, but that's what you have right now. Andrew Sullivan. Andrew Sullivan is the kind of intellectual godfather of the gay rights movement. He's a sharp guy, very liberal, but he's not signed on for Hillary. He's certainly not signed on for Trump. He called Trump a reality TV a-hole, but he didn't have much kind of words for Hillary.
It's easy to demagogue it. It's demagoguery, of course, and your piece accused Bernie of demagoguery. He is a demagogue, railing against billionaires as if that's the real problem. The real problem is we have a difficult, shifting global economy, in which, by the way, the United States is doing better than almost any other country on the planet.
So he's not buying Bernie Sanders' class envy bull jive, and he referred to Hillary Clinton as a useless candidate, and Trump as a reality TV a-hole. That about sums it up.
Nobody told me that the road would be easy.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Today, we're going to have partly sunny skies. It's going to be warmer, but we can't rule out a shower in spots later this afternoon, a high near 70 degrees. Then tomorrow, back into the 50s we go. But then after that, a string of gorgeous days in the mid to upper 70s. Anything gorgeous on the roadways, Jim Telemonte, besides your bad self?
Thanks, Amy. Good morning. The Edens is beautiful right now. No delays at all, inbound or outbound. The Kennedy's still fine, too. Inbound Eisenhower is a little sluggish. Manheim to First Avenue. 32 minutes, Thorndale to downtown. Outbound fine at 29. Inbound Stevenson, 39 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. The Ryan, 21 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, 22 minutes, 8094 to the Ryan. Northbound I-65 is a mess from 231 to before 109th Avenue. There's a rollover semi blocking the right lane. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
When elderly family require care, you insist on local medical professionals with specialized training in home services and nursing. Alliance Home Service is a leading family alternative to nursing home and institutional care. It's critical to ask the right questions when matching a caregiver to your loved one to maintain the most positive lifestyle for your entire family. Alliance Home Service is among a select group of Chicagoland companies providing in-home non-medical care such as hygiene, medication reminders, activities, and companionship and medical care. All caregivers have the highest level of training and expertise. You'll experience the cost efficiency of in-home care as well as the level of caring you expect from family. Call founder and registered nurse Linda Weiler at 866-227-3459 or visit alliancecaregiver.com for a no-obligation family care consultation. Alliance Home Service. Our family caring for your family. That's 866-227-3459 or alliancecaregiver.com.
My name is David Hochberg, Vice President of Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're looking to purchase a new home or refinance your existing home, give me a call. Stacy wanted to contact a realtor before purchasing a home in Deerfield. Bad move. Not getting pre-qualified by me before talking to a realtor is like smoking while pumping gas. I pre-qualified Stacy to purchase a home and introduced her to Lauren Shue, my preferred Deerfield realtor. If you're purchasing a home, call me first. I'll pre-qualify you for free and introduce you to my experienced team of preferred realtors who will help you locate the perfect home. My team of real estate experts will always look out for your financial best interest. If you're buying a home, give me a call now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. I've helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage and Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage License 4358, RMLA, NMLS 19186.
Hey, it's important businesses who share conservative values work together and support each other so our companies thrive. If you're a manufacturer, I encourage you to call my very good friend Laz Coulchar from Automated Systems. As a software and systems integration company, they create custom solutions to make your production lines, facilities, and plants run way more efficiently. Imagine less downtime, more speed, and fewer rejects. It doesn't matter if you're a Fortune 500 company or a startup. Automated Systems delivers solutions for your toughest automation challenges. At Freedom Summit, Laz wowed the crowd with this story of escaping communism, coming to the U.S., and building a successful company. And I know that Laz and Automated Systems can wow your company by making it more profitable. If you even suspect that Automated Systems could benefit your manufacturing company, then call Laz at Automated Systems at 844-HIRE-ASI or visit SYS.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy. So, Amy, Talladega, Alabama, Chris Gather, 11-year-old, meted out some street justice against a guy who tried to break into his ancestral home.
No, you didn't.
He grabbed a 9mm
No, you didn't.
took out after the intruder.
I shot through a hamper that he was carrying, and it was a Full Metal Jacket bullet. I went straight to the back of him and his leg. And he started crying like a little baby.
Started crying like a little baby.
He's so cute. How old is he? 10, 11?
He's 11. Chris
that's
Gather
so
in Talladega, Alabama, and he's got a
Yeah.
message for that gentleman. Anybody else is going to try and break into his home.
I hope you learn your lesson from coming to his house trying to steal stuff.
There you go.
Oh, that is so sweet.
And you know why
Did he have a concealed carry permit, or is he going to be charged with something? Unlawful possession of a weapon.
No charges pending.
And?
The real reason we played that story, in addition to him calling the intruder a baby,
He cried like a baby.
was so we could do Talladega Nights
I love
drops.
Talladega.
I'm Walker, and I'm Texas Ranger.
My friends and I skipped school, and we came this close to robbing a bank.
I flushed Grandpa's wallet down the toilet.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Lately, it seems you're not feeling quite right, as if your body is working against you. Dr. Amy and Associates can help create a path to achieve optimal health. Experience personalized health care for your mind, body, and spirit at a practice that blends holistic and traditional medicine.
Dr. Amy has really helped me. After experiencing a divorce in my 50s, I wasn't sure how to handle the stress and changes I was about to encounter. I needed to find a new profession since my ex-husband and I had worked together at our own company, plus there were other challenges with our own grown kids, family, and friends. It was wonderful to have Dr. Amy's guidance through this difficult situation. She kept me on track and assured me I was thinking correctly. She made a very hard time easier, and I will forever be grateful. If you're going through some hard life struggles, I would highly recommend Dr. Amy and Associates.
Call Dr. Amy and Associates to experience a whole person integrative approach to health and wellness. 630-980-1400 or visit dramyandassociates.com. Dr. Amy and Associates, empowering people, changing lives. On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to drill down and talk about the big ideas behind the big issues. That's where Upstream Ideas comes in. Upstream Ideas, online at upstream-ideas.com, in partnership with the Illinois Policy Institute, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted orthodoxies. In other words, Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now to upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to spur you on to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit more free, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing, independently owned business bank. Signature Bank listens to your story, learns about your business, and sticks with their customers. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Kevin Bastuga, co-founder of Signature Bank. As native Chicagoans, my partners and I know this city, its economy, and the challenges that small businesses face. We like to think of Signature Bank as your hometown bank. Chicagoans helping Chicagoans. We understand that banking is ultimately about people, and we build long-term, lasting relationships with our customers. We stand by our customers, and our customers stand by us, and we welcome new customers every day. We look forward to welcoming you and your business into the Signature Bank family.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
If medications haven't helped you treat your depression, why haven't you tried TMS therapy offered by Theramind? Now there is a way to successfully treat your depression without the need for meds and their harmful side effects. TMS therapy is covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and Medicare. Don't continue to suffer needlessly. Call Theramind. Don't wait. Call Theramind now. 847-562-5868. The single greatest advancement to date in treating depression is TMS. It's an FDA-cleared, non-drug, safe, and effective treatment. TMS has already changed the lives of over 50,000 patients. Why not you? Visit tmsmind.com. Depression can be beaten, and without drugs. Call Theramind today, 847-562-5868, or get more info at tmsmind.com. That's Theramind at 847-562-5868, or online at tmsmind.com.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
100-year-old runs the 100 meters faster than Tom Brady.
And should two lesbian high school students be prom king and queen? We'll explain, but first into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, police say it was an attempted child abduction in display.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. He's scrounging for every vote he can get.
Blind Ted! Well, sir.
Ted Cruz confronting Donald Trump supporters in Indiana yesterday.
I'm not yelling at you. You are the problem. Donald Trump is deceiving you. He is playing you for a chump. You'll find out tomorrow. Indiana don't want you.
Sir? The polls are now open across the state. Fox's Jeff Manasso is live in South Bend.
And David, it is now Indiana's turn to decide.
The entire country is looking to the state of Indiana.
Where Ted Cruz says it's basically a dead heat and needing a win badly in his efforts to force a contested convention and stopping Donald Trump, who rallied thousands of supporters here in South Bend last night with his sights already set on the general election.
I'm beating Hillary Clinton, and that's good. That's good. We're beating her. And I haven't even started yet.
Most polls show Trump leading Cruz here with 57 winner-take-most delegates up for grabs tonight. Dave.
Jeff, polls show a tight Democrat race in Indiana.
Our ideas are the future of America.
Bernie Sanders hopes to stop Hillary Clinton's momentum, though she has a big overall delegate lead in the race for the nomination. One of the American troops sent to Iraq in the fight against ISIS is dead. Fox's Jessica Gallagher live in our Middle East bureau.
Dave, the coalition service member, died in northern Iraq as a result of enemy fire. Defense Secretary Ash Carter says the American was killed near Erbil, adding it was a combat death. The Defense Secretary provided no other details. In the past 2 weeks, President Obama has approved the deployment of 450 additional troops to Iraq and Syria. There are about 5,000 U.S. troops on the ground in Iraq, Dave.
Jessica, more fighting in Syria today. State TV reports rebels attacked a government-held area in Aleppo. One rocket hit a hospital. Dozens of people reportedly dead or wounded. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
In Chicago, clear skies, 44 degrees as we approach sunrise at 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott. Here are the stories we're following on WIND Chicago. Suburban Buffalo Grove woman is fighting for her life after she was shot driving home from the Wisconsin Dells. Tracy Chukowski was wounded in the neck Sunday while riding with her family on I-90-94 near Lake Delton, Wisconsin. The suspect that fired the shot was eventually caught by law enforcement. Chicago high school student in serious condition after a light pole fell on a group of students on their lunch break. The incident happened yesterday in the Hyde Park neighborhood. A Chicago police sergeant lifted that pole off the girl who attends Kenwood High School. She has a compound leg fracture. Mayor Emanuel backing a proposed ordinance that would raise the surcharge on house sharing services like Airbnb. Under that measure, customers would be charged 4% on their bills instead of 2%. Now, the Emanuel administration says the extra revenue generated would be used to fund programs that help the homeless. Chicago judge wants to suspend the legal fight over Star Wars creator George Lucas's plans to build a museum on one lakefront location while the city explores an alternative site. City attorneys requested that 30-day stay in a motion filed in federal court. Friends of the Parks sued last year to kill plans to build that art museum near Soldier Field. It is now part of the discussion to move that museum to what remains of the old McCormick Place Convention Complex. And 4 years after he was fired by the University of Illinois, basketball coach Bruce Weber making a comeback in Champaign. And he's bringing former Illini football coach Ron Turner with him, too. According to the News-Gazette in Champaign this morning, Weber and Turner are part of a group that will buy the local landmark Jarling's Custard Cup. Of course, Weber now coaches at Kansas State. Turner is at Florida International. Apparently, the Jarling family said last summer it was looking for a buyer. Apparently, Weber and Turner, even though they were fired out of Champaign, are good to be home. Chicago sports, Cubs over Pittsburgh 7-2. And the news is a service of LifeLock. Grabbing coffee or breakfast, if you swipe your card, you leave a trail of digital information thieves use to steal your identity. Ever hear of LifeLock? Their U.S.-based team of specialists help resolve identity theft problems. Go to LifeLock.com now. Promo code RISK to save 10%. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Personal finance is 80% behavior, 20% head knowledge.
Dave Ramsey.
The reason you're in debt is behavior, not math. The way you get out of debt is behavior, change, not math. You can't borrow your way out of debt. How many times have you heard someone say, I had a whole bunch of credit card debt and I paid it off by getting a second mortgage? You didn't pay it off, you moved it.
The Dave Ramsey Show, weeknights starting at 7, right before Michael Medved at 10. Presented by Wintrust Community Bank on AM 560. The Answer.
Focus. You need it to run a business, so don't let legal questions distract you. Use LegalZoom instead. Things like lease agreements and employment laws get complicated, but they're part of running a business. That's why LegalZoom built a network of independent attorneys in 48 states. You can rely on them for the legal details without paying by the hour, since LegalZoom isn't a law firm. So focus on growing your business and use LegalZoom for the legal stuff. LegalZoom. Legal help is here.
People all across the country are enjoying the flexibility of working when they want, earning extra money on their schedule when they drive with Uber.
With Uber, you can write your own paycheck. You sign up, you get approved, and you start earning money right away, like the next day. Turn it on when you want to make money, you turn it off when you don't. It's just that simple. What are you waiting for?
Enjoy the flexibility of working when you want, earning extra money on your schedule. Sign up to Drive with Uber today. Go to drivewithuber.com. That's drivewithuber.com.
It is 6:06, time to check the climate of your business with aircomfort.com. 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. And time to check the roads in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. Very latest with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Northbound I-65 traffic is jammed from 231 to before 109th Avenue with rollover semi blocking the right lane. The Edens is clear. Inbound Kennedy, heavy from the River Road toll to Cumberland. 22 minutes O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 20. About Eisenhower delays start at Wolf Road. 37 minutes Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 30. Stevenson already 45 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, 30 from the Tri-State. Outbound all clear. Ryan is 24 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, both 22 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Traffic is a service of Subway. All May at Subway, get a free delicious 6-inch breakfast sandwich when you buy any sandwich before 9 a.m., making May the best month ever. That's right, all month long before 9 a.m., your breakfast is free when you buy any sandwich you'd like. The Subway Sandwich Shop, fresh is what they do. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the aircomfort.com Weather Center, here is our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today will be partly sunny with a shower in spots later this afternoon, high of 68. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a couple of showers, mainly later with a low 46. A shower in the area tomorrow, breezy and cooler, high 53. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
42 at O'Hare, 47 along the lakefront. Next news at 6:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Real Estate Revealed with Randy Barcella. Heard each and every Sunday at 8 a.m. on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning. Welcome to your Tuesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
If we win, it's over. And then I can focus. Then I don't have to worry about lying Ted Cruz, and I don't care if he endorses me or does. I couldn't care less.
Will you support his candidacy if he, Donald Trump, gets the delegates before Cleveland?
Dana, nobody's going to get to 1237. I'm not going to get to it, but neither is Donald Trump.
Your piece accused Bernie of demagoguery. He is a demagogue, railing against billionaires as if that's the real problem. The real problem is we have a difficult, shifting global economy, in which, by the way, the United States is doing better than almost any other country on the planet.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, it's almost time for the kids to get ready for prom, as I understand it. I don't know. I never went to prom, but since you're the North American record holder for most proms attended, I assume you know.
How could you never have gone to prom? What is wrong with you? Uh-oh. Did I say that out loud? No, I mean, really.
All kinds of things.
But why didn't you ask somebody? Was there somebody you wanted to ask to prom? Or were you just too shy, Dan?
Yeah, I wanted to.
You did? Who did you want to ask?
But
no, don't give me names.
But all of the girls preemptorily rejected me. Said, hey, don't ask me to prom.
Oh, like when you'd walk up to him like, hey, prof, no. Don't, if you're thinking about asking me, move
don't
away.
do it. Whatever you're thinking, stop thinking it.
Well,
That's what they said.
Think to go with a group of
They
guys?
said it as a group. They actually penned an open letter where all the girls in my junior class, and then they updated it for senior year. The senior class signed it, and then they published it in the school newspaper, and they alerted, the appropriate authorities at Bennett Academy.
So did you get to vote for prom king and queen?
I didn't go to prom, so
Well, sometimes schools vote before the actual prom, and sometimes you vote while you're at prom.
Well, again, you're the expert.
Okay,
I concede. I don't know how this works. I don't know if there was proxy voting.
I have been to 17 proms.
17?
No, actually, I've been to 7 proms.
7 proms?
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is you're still going. I mean,
you know what? I'm open. 312-642-5600. I'm a great chaperone. I could be the sober, designated driver, get people to and from.
Members of the military, they do this, like, sometimes they go, like, with this, they petition a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model or an actress to go with them. Petition Amy Jacobson. We'll take applications for a young man who would like to take Amy Jacobson to prom this year. I'd say within the...
What, District 214?
No.
League?
No. I would say within the 6-state metropolitan
Okay.
Midwest region.
I still have that blue dress that I wore to every prom.
Okay,
but
Monica.
I want people as friends.
312-642-5600 Turnkey Pro answer line. Call in and make your pitch. And maybe, mom or dad, you want to set up Junior with Amy Jacobson to go to prom? Call in and make your pitch. Okay. We'll hear you out. Amy will hear you out. She's got... closet full of prom dresses ready to go.
And I will tweet out a picture of all my proms. Because I did. Remember last year I put a collection together?
Yeah.
And I never tweeted that picture out.
No, I think we want to see the collage.
Yeah, you do.
Because it's
and
also...
I have baby's breath in my hair. Another one I have a nosegay. But you don't know about any of that because you never went to prom.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, it's a wrist corsage. It's called a nosegay.
Yeah, I still have my corsage in my refrigerator.
Oh, you
Someday I hope to be able to use it.
Oh, you poor...
Today's not going to be that day, but someday, maybe. The collage is cool, too, because you get to track fashion trends over the last 30 years. So it's interesting in that way.
I went to 7 proms in the matter of 4 years. But, yeah, fashion changed. And the way people did their hair and put on makeup changed, and what the men wore was different. But I went with people as friends. People who didn't, that's why I went to Wheeling's prom, BG's, whatever, Fremd. Keep going.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I'll name all the high schools.
Fun, stupid.
Yeah.
No. But the reason why we're talking about this, Dan, the real reason.
Oh, hold on a second. Hold on.
Oh, no.
Hold on.
Oh, boy.
Hold on. Mike on the north side. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, good morning. I just wanted to say, now that Amy has the minivan, not only can she be a great chaperone, she can take her kids to prom, but she could also drive for Uber, work for her friend Rahm Emanuel.
There you go. Thanks for the call, Mike. First of all, I'll be the chaperone. Hey, you kids, leave a little room for the Holy Spirit.
Oh, I got a text message from Engine 78. They're on Wave Linden.
Wow, the entire engine.
Saying hi. Don't mock us who have not gone to prom. I never went to prom either.
So long, losers!
I will not tell you what lieutenant texted that message.
Do you know that lieutenant knows what it's like for a man to hurt?
Well, who's hurting right now in California is the possible prom king at Foothill High School in Palo Cedro, California.
Have you ever gone to a prom there?
I have not gone to a prom in the state of California, but there's a woman named Haley Lack. She's a senior. She wants to be prom queen, and people have voted for her. But the problem is her partner, who is a female, because Haley's a lesbian, Jenna.
Of course.
They want Jenna to be the prom king because they voted, and here's how this unfolded.
My name is Haley Lack. For prom royalty, me and my girlfriend were nominated as a couple, and it got by ASB, got by popular vote, so a lot of people voted for us. And then whenever it got halted at admin because admin decided that it has to be traditional and keep it with a boy and a girl.
And admin is the principal, that's the administration. No, she said they were rejected because it isn't fair to their male peers. It isn't fair to you guys out there to have a female prom king. 312-642-5600. And the principal there, Jim Bartow, stated that having two queens, of course, would not be fair to the boy gender. And he asked the couple to run as individuals.
First of all, it's outrageous that we're still using these patriarchal terms of king and queen. I mean, we don't see gender. Gender doesn't exist.
But it has to be equal for both genders, and that's what it's all about, says Jim Bartow, the principal of Foothill High School.
We want to change this because it's obvious discrimination against us both for being in a lesbian relationship, and just we want to be able to change it for future generations so that other LGBT members can come to Foothill and be able to be nominated and not have to fight this battle.
Yeah. And the other problem with having both of them, both Haley and Jenna, is then that at the prom they'll just play Indigo Girl songs. So you want to have a little bit of a mix.
But here's the thing, and this is a question. If they won fair and square, they won, Dan. They passed not only the first test but the second test. They should be prom king and queen.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think? I mean, do you see this as discrimination?
Oh, I think it's awful. I think, yeah.
The principal wants these two young lovers, Haley and Jenna, to run against each other as prom queen. But you cannot be prom queen and prom king.
And Haley Lack makes the point that why don't we need a female, or she says, we don't need a female on the football team or a male cheerleader to be fair. Why do we need a guy when the couple nominated as a female couple? Why do we need guys at all? Why are men allowed to go to school in this day and age? I think you have to get to the root of the problem. There's no place for men in this society. I mean, unless you're a gay man.
Right.
But there's no place.
But then gay's not gay enough because then you have to go transgender, transsexual.
There is no place for the heterosexual man in 21st century America. So, I don't know, internment camps, force them to renounce their citizenship, exile them to some island.
Take away their voting rights immediately.
Absolutely.
Strip them of all.
And by the way, Haley brings up a good point that I keep bringing up. No, I think the football team at Foothill High School in Palo Cedro, California, should be distributed according to the larger student population. So I think there should be a representative contingent of girls on the football team, a representative contingent of male cheerleaders. I think you should force that to come to pass. By the way, at the collegiate level, too, we have to get rid of fraternities and sororities.
No.
Number one, they're exclusionary. They're discriminatory.
Well, it's kind of like a private club.
That's discriminatory. Oh, discrimination. Thy name is Amy Jacobson.
So if a guy came to try to be a Kappa Kappa Gamma, eventually someday we're going to have to let him be a Kappa Kappa Gamma because maybe his mom was or his grandma.
Absolutely. There's no such thing as fraternities and sororities. There are open homes that anyone can come and stay for any reason.
Ugh.
That's the philosophy. I mean, I'm just trying to, kind of fold
what?
in with the zeitgeist.
I have a feeling that that's coming down the road.
Of course, because you can't draw lines. No, there's no lines to be drawn. Any line drawing is judgmental, don't you?
I need the dudes.
Art and Skokie, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan and Amy. I was reminded when they were talking about prom, what Lindsey Graham said, but you're a bro without hoe.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for the call, Art. Yes, I was. Thank you for invoking Lindsey Graham's description of Mark Kirk. Something that we share. I was. Although I find the description of the fairer sex, I mean, I can't repeat that word.
No, you can't.
That is misogynistic.
An
Art.
update from Engine 78.
Oh, Engine 78's got an update. He's got a prom date now, or he's petitioning you to go to prom?
He said, it's still painful. I was a dork in high school, and I did ask a girl, but she said no.
Yeah. Well,
And I laugh. I shouldn't.
Just tell the lieutenant over there at Engine 78
Yeah.
something that I tell myself routinely.
Okay, what is it?
As I am routinely rejected by larger society. And that is that God only gives us the crosses he knows we can bear. So, hang in there, champ.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Oh, today it's going to be partly sunny. Warmer, a shower in spots late this afternoon, a high of 68 degrees. Then tomorrow we go back into the cooler area. It's going to be mostly cloudy, breezy, high of 53 degrees if we're lucky, cooler near the lakefront. And then after that, Thursday and Friday look great. Back into the 70s we go. Any good news on the roadways? And Jim Telemonte, did you go to prom? And if so, how many?
I didn't. I did not, Amy. I worked through it, so say what you will. Northbound I-65, pretty rough sledding right now. It's jammed from 231 to be 409th Avenue. There's a rollover semi in the right lane. Edens is looking good on the outbound side, but inbound now it's bunching up just a little from Peterson to the junction. 21 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose. Kennedy, 22 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 23, Slow Foster to Sayre. The Eisenhower, 45 minutes, Thorndale to the post office. 27 from Manheim. Outbound 31 to Thorndale. Stevenson slow, Weber to Cass, and from the Des Plaines River Bridge to Kedzie. 50 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
Guys, when it comes to your health, do you know your numbers? Now, you might know your blood pressure and cholesterol, but do you know your testosterone number? I know my number, and that's because Low T Center makes it easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and because their lab is on site, you'll know your results within minutes. If you've noticed a decline in energy, stamina, or libido, can't get a prom date, you may have low testosterone. Low testosterone makes you feel tired and grumpy. It can also raise your cholesterol and cause weight gain. Low T Center's experienced medical staff will educate you on the benefits and risks of testosterone replacement. At Low T Center, services are covered by most health insurance companies, and they have flexible hours for your convenience. So do yourself a favor and call 630-409-4305. Tell them Dan Proft sent you. That's 630-409-4305, or go to lowtcenter.com.
Now that spring has arrived, it's likely you're looking forward to the warmer weather. But if you're a business owner, facilities manager, or maintenance engineer, you risk the same potential problem every year. A complete system failure. In fact, up to half of all commercial air conditioning units fail upon startup each season due to the lack of regular maintenance and repair. Let the professionals at Air Comfort make a comprehensive assessment of your mechanical system before there's a problem. A poorly operating air conditioning system results in uneven temperatures and humidity problems, leading to unhealthy mold and mildew growth. Don't compromise your business's overall air quality. Schedule today with Air Comfort. Call 708-345-1900 or visit aircomfort.com. Even if you're under contract with another provider, let Air Comfort provide your second opinion. After all, there's a reason why hundreds of businesses have trusted Air Comfort with their mechanical maintenance for more than 80 years. That's Air Comfort, a tradition of excellence since 1935.
Do you know what a RIA is? It's a real estate investor association, and it's where smart people go to obtain wholesale houses, obtain no money, no credit financing, meet local buyers, sellers, and investing partners, and receive local market intelligence and training. Don't buy houses retail. That's ridiculous. And please don't waste your time and money going to a get-rich-quick seminar from a traveling pitchman. Come network with local Chicagoland real estate investors that are just getting started or taking it to the next level. Come join the largest real estate investor network in Chicagoland. We meet on Tuesday, May 10th at 6 p.m. at the Chicago Marriott Schaumburg on Martingale Road. And you can register to attend for free by calling 800-868-4914. 800-868-4914. This month's topic, how to get all the money you need for real estate deals. Call 800-868-4914. Write it down. That's 800-868-4914 to attend any of our upcoming meetings and receive a valuable real estate training program for free. 800-868-4914. Brought to you by the Schaumburg Wealth Club.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh. Is this,
I'm having a moment. This was John Hersey High School's theme in 1986.
Do you know who sings this?
Yeah, Eric Clapton.
Yeah. See, that's what I did when you were at prom. I just stayed home and played romantic songs. Cried and cried and cried. A couple of texts on this whole prom matter. A text from 773, good question. Have Lindsey Graham or Mark Kirk ever been elected prom queen? I don't know. We'll ask them when we have them on the show.
Someone we can't read.
Text from 847. I think Ted Cruz should win prom king. Then Trump can say it's rigged. text from 708. Let's put these women on an isolated island. If they reproduce, then they'll convince me that gender doesn't matter.
Very good.
Another local matter, prom is a local matter. Guns. Gabby Giffords was in town last week. And of course, the gun banners in the Illinois General Assembly seized upon that to introduce legislation to make it more difficult to own a firearm or to operate a legitimate gun dealership in this state. This is Don Harmon. He's one of these central planners. Of course, he's from Oak Park. Still nuclear free. Oak Park's still nuclear free, by the way.
That's good to know.
You cannot own a nuclear weapon in Oak Park. I mean, I'm serious.
They passed a city ordinance?
They passed a municipal ordinance many, many years ago, a nuclear-free zone. This is how unhinged those Birkenstock-wearing lefties are
and
in
you
Oak
can't,
Park.
you can't have eat fast food in your car. Remember that when they're trying to ban that?
Yeah, they're very self-important. So self-important they think they can run your life for you. Don Harmon's bill, ready for this?
Okay, I'm sitting down.
The Illinois State Rifle Association estimates the bill that's proposed by Don Harmon, that of course isn't going anywhere because Governor Rauner will veto it, and if it moved out of the General Assembly, and it won't because, frankly, there's enough Democrats in central and southern Illinois who also oppose these kind of backdoor gun bans. But nonetheless, you should take note, all you suburbanites who vote for these Democrats, left-wing Democrats who want to disarm you and to give the criminals more of an advantage, like Senator Don Harmon. This bill would require gun buyers to be videotaped when they purchased a gun.
To be videotaped?
Be videotaped at the gun store. And the videotape will be provided to the police. It's a backdoor way to do what the left always wanted to do, which is gun registration. Because you've got video that's turned over to the police. By the way, that would also, of course, mandate that firearm retailers install
surveillance systems,
systems if they don't already have them. In addition to that, retailers would be forced to install state-of-the-art vaults and alarms at their shops. The ISRA describes these vaults and alarm systems as upwards of $2 million in cost.
2 gun stores I've been to have very sophisticated vaults and security systems already in place.
Well, I'm sure some of them do, but it's one thing to have varying levels of security, and it's another thing for the state to mandate it, particularly to kind of push out the little guy. Firearm retailers would also be required to fill out stacks of new forms and keep reams of paper records covering firearm purchases. Minor record-keeping mistakes would result in the termination of licenses and shutting down shops. And also this, the Chicago Police Department would have the right to inspect and audit any gun shop in the state at any time without justification.
So they wouldn't need a warrant. They could just walk in and, hey, wait, I want to see your books. Want to see the tapes?
I mean, the Chicago Police Department, they don't have enough things to concern themselves with. So, for example, the 50% increase in murders year over year. We've accumulated the highest murder total through April in Rahm Emanuel's tenure. Remember how bloody 2012 was?
Yeah.
Well, there are more murders through April of this year than there were in 2012. So turning the Chicago police into some kind of paramilitary investigative body doesn't seem like the best idea to me. But, I'm not an enlightened left-winger like Don Harmon from Oak Park. So just when you think that the Democrats are real serious about the budget impasse and real focused on your quality of life concerns, you've got the likes of Don Harmon out there doing this to shake down and, frankly, try and put out of business gun dealers in this state. And as I said, do kind of a backdoor gun grab, make it more difficult for law-abiding citizens to purchase firearms and exercise their individual Second Amendment rights in this state. So, you may want to keep that in mind when you go to the polls in November and you think about Chicago Democrats and their brethren like Don Harmon in the supermajority position in the Illinois General Assembly.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
The following is a paid political announcement.
They're made, bought,
and we pay the price. Sellout politicians like Congressman Todd Young. Special interests and Mitch McConnell have spent $1 million buying Young a promotion to the Senate. He owes them, not us. Young does as he's told. He voted to raise the debt limit over $2 trillion and voted to fund Obamacare and Obama's amnesty plan. Say no to Congressman Young. We don't need another sellout in Washington. When did Republicans lose their backbone, their guts, their conviction? Some will say they stood up to Obama. That's easy. But who stood up to their own party? That's Marlin Stutzman. Marlin voted against John Boehner, fought sweetheart deals on both sides, and even wrote his own federal budget that actually balances. Marlin knows when Republicans bend, America breaks. Stand strong, Marlin. Conservative Marlin Stutzman for Senate.
I'm Marlin Stutzman, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Stutzman for Senate.
Because you listen to this show, you know that hundreds of small businesses around the Chicago area trust their IT needs to the best, to our good friends over at Turnkey IT. So when I needed help with my personal computer, and boy, did I need some help, I picked up the phone and called David, the president of Turnkey IT. Without hesitation, David agreed to help. I had the chance to experience firsthand what Turnkey IT service is really all about. The technician came, he was early, he was friendly, he was professional, he was clean, he was nice, and he transferred all the data from my old PC to my new PC and configured it exactly for my needs. It really was a turnkey solution. Turnkey IT wants to give all the businesses, the business owners, I should say, listening to AM 560 this great opportunity. So listen up. Turnkey IT is offering a free network checkup. So even if you already have an IT guy, this free checkup will help you deal with your IT guy better. And here's my promise to you. Whatever IT provider you have now, you will like Turnkey IT better. So visit turnkey.pro today. That's turnkey.pro. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Congressman Marlin Stutzman is trying to wrangle his way to the U.S. Senate. We'll talk to him at 6:36.
But first, let's go back into the newsroom and say good Tuesday morning to our good friend Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. 44 degrees outside. Defense Secretary Ash Carter is confirming the death of a U.S. service member in Iraq. Speaking to reporters today in Germany, Carter gave few details, saying only it was a combat death. Another U.S. military official talking on deep background says the American was killed by direct fire by ISIS forces who penetrated the front lines of Kurdish Peshmerga troops. Indiana primary voters, the most powerful in the nation today, at least in presidential politics, as the polls open across the Hoosier state. This could be Texas Senator Ted Cruz's last chance to slow the momentum of Donald Trump, who says the deal between candidates Kasich and Cruz was wrong from the beginning.
While I assume they didn't ink it, I still say before the ink was dry, it was violated by both parties, right? Politicians, this is what we have. These are the people that negotiate for us.
Bernie Sanders spoke to a crowd at Monument Circle in Indianapolis trying to win over Democrat voters.
We are going to create together an economy that works for all of us, not just the 1%.
Democrats go after 92 delegates in their proportional race. A pair of teen boys are dead following two separate South Side shootings in Chicago. Police say a 14-year-old was shot last night riding in an SUV on Ashland Avenue. A 15-year-old suffered multiple gunshot wounds several hours later walking through a back alley. Both victims died later at area hospitals. An escaped Indiana inmate remains on the loose after authorities failed to find him at a mall in Calumet City. Police searched the River Oaks Center yesterday for 2 hours after receiving a tip that Richard Campos had been spotted there. There is a new president this morning at the College of DuPage, where the Board of Trustees has selected retired Navy Vice Admiral Anne Rondeau during last night's special meeting. Her term begins July 1st, replacing fired former President Robert Bruder. A highly decorated Chicago eatery, the big winner of this year's James Beard Awards. Alinea took home the award for Outstanding Restaurant during last night's ceremony at the Civic Opera House. Two other local winners, including Chef Curtis Duffy of Grace, and the James Beard Awards are considered the Oscars of the culinary world. Cubs over Pittsburgh, 7-2, and maybe the greatest Cinderella story in sports history is complete. Leicester City goes from 5,000 to 1 odds to champions of the English Premier League. For those of you who don't know, like Dan Proft, that's soccer. The news, a service of LifeLock. Grabbing coffee or breakfast. If you swipe your card, you leave a trail of digital information thieves can use to steal your identity. Ever hear of LifeLock? Their U.S.-based team of specialists help resolve identity theft problems. Go to lifelock.com now. Use promo code RISK to save 10%. 6:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher tells you who he voted for in the New York primary.
I voted for the Republican that I feel will be the most qualified to lead this country out of the darkness of 8 years of Barack Obama, who's best poised to beat the Hillary machine, can inspire, enlighten, and lead this country. That's the Republican I voted for.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
It's Galaxy's free sale. Free installation, free design, and free financing.
773-783-8300. Call Galaxy.
Hi, I'm Lex Howard, CEO of Balance of Nature. Statistics show that most people will listen to this commercial 7 times before they finally purchase Balance of Nature. Don't be a statistic. Take action to determine your future.
I just have to tell you, I love Balance of Nature. I've been telling everybody about it. I can't believe how good I feel. Got my husband taking them now, and he's trying to get his mom to take them, because rarely do I take something where I feel a difference. If I'm just taking vitamin D or my multivitamin, I don't really feel a difference. But when I started taking these, I feel a difference. And I said, I can't tell you how good I feel.
Begin giving your body the fruits and vegetables it needs every day. Accept and complete Dr. Howard's 120-day health challenge to earn a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
It is 6:36 in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. The latest with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Northbound I-65 has heavy delays from before 231 to before 109th Avenue, where there's a rollover semi in the right lane. The Edens Expressway inbound is 25 minutes. Lake Cook to the junction, outbound 20. The Kennedy, 28 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 30. The Eisenhower is heavy, 57 minutes already from Thorndale to downtown. 39 from Manheim, outbound 35 to Thorndale. Stevenson 2, jammed. LaGrange Road to Kedzie, though the delays start as far south as 126. It is an hour and 10 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. 55 minutes from the Tri-State. Outbound 36 minutes to 355. Ryan 26 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford heavy. Traffic service, timeshareexitteam.com. If you could get out of your timeshare safely and legitimately, would you? Timeshareexitteam.com has a 100% guarantee they'll get you out or give you a full refund. Call 844-321-EXIT, 844-321-EXIT, timeshareexitteam.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte. AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Partly sunny and warmer. We'll have a shower in spots later this afternoon. High 68. Couple of showers overnight. Low 46 and a high of 53 tomorrow. Currently 41 and sunshine at O'Hare, 46 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 7. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Power Trading Radio. Heard Sundays at 2 p.m. Brought to you each week by Online Trading Academy.
Your money. Find out how to keep more of it and live debt-free. Tonight on The Dave Ramsey Show, starting at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and Hoosiers, or Indianans, as Amy calls them. Listen up, because Trump versus Cruz is not the only important primary in Indiana today, and it also has national implications because of the of maintaining control of the Senate for Republicans. They've got an 8-seat bulge right now, but a lot of Republican incumbents up. And in Indiana, you've got Senator Dan Coats, who's retiring, leaving that an open seat. And just because you think Indiana, well, that's a Republican state, it's a conservative state. Well, we kicked away a Senate seat last go-around with Joe Donnelly over Mr. Murdoch. So can take nothing for granted. And there's a competitive primary between two congressmen. to replace Dan Coates. One is Congressman Todd Young, and the other is Congressman Marlin Stutzman.
I love his commercials, by the way.
I know, he's a wrangler. He's like Gary Cooper.
Spurs on his boots.
Looking to round up a posse and take it out to D.C. Well, he's already in D.C. But he's trying to wrangle his way to the Senate. He is Congressman Marlin Stutzman. He joins us now. Congressman Stutzman, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan and Amy, for having me on. Great to be with you this morning.
Size up the race and kind of explain succinctly the choice that Hoosiers have as they look at the primary contest between you and Congressman Young today.
Yeah, this is a really interesting race, being one of only 2 open seats for the United States Senate in the country, with the retirement of Dan Coates here in Indiana, and then of course Marco Rubio not running again in Florida since he ran for for president. So this is the first of the 2, and it's a classic. It's become a classic establishment versus conservative grassroots campaign, and I of course have a strong conservative record in Washington, serving the 3rd congressional district from Northeast Indiana, and which is primarily Fort Wayne and north and south of there. I come from a small business background, and I was a farmer, and also had a small trucking operation and some retail businesses. And both Young and I were elected in 2010, and I had served prior to that in the Indiana legislature under Governor Mitch Daniels, and saw just a different sort of leadership here in Indiana compared to when I got out to Washington and just saw a complete lack of leadership. And so it was those experiences prior to getting to Washington that pushed me in the direction that I went when I got to D.C., realizing that system is broken. It just is set up in a way that picks winners and losers, and that there's a bipartisan establishment that has to be shaken up.
But with respect to you and Congressman Young, what is it in terms of specific issue positions or leadership aptitude that separates you?
Yeah, well, take, for example, the Budget Control Act. If you remember back to the super committee that was set up and this deal that was cut between the White House and John Boehner and Harry Reid, that the super committee was going to fix all these issues. They ended up raising the debt ceiling. The super committee failed, and there were no reforms made to cutting spending. But there was the sequester. If you remember, the sequester cut mostly military spending, and I voted against it because I saw that our military was going to take the hit, and that this structure that they try to set up isn't following the process. And so one of the biggest differences between Young and I is that there's a process in place. If we would just use it, we would get a better outcome. The other one is I fought to separate the farm bill. I'm a farmer. I know how much federal government is manipulating manipulating agriculture and our economy. And so what I'm trying to do is take $1 trillion spending bill, separate food stamps away from farm policy, and actually have a transparent, open process. And so that I've been fighting a lot of the process in Washington compared to my opponent. And if you have a bad process, you're going to have a bad outcome.
Have people labeled you? I mean, since you entered politics at the age of 26, so you were the youngest member of the Indiana legislature, went to Washington in 2010 as a congressman. Do people label you as a political insider, a Washington, D.C. insider?
No, not at all. I mean, I've always I did first run for the state legislature. We have a part-time legislature here in Indiana. When I was 26 years old, right after 9/11 happened, and
wish we had one of those. Wish we had one of those part-time legislators rather than full-time legislatures.
Yeah. You look at Indiana and you look at Illinois, and they're 2 different models. And the part-time legislature serves Indiana very well. I mean, even Texas, one of the largest states in the union, has a part-time legislature. And with less government, you have a better economy. You have growth in jobs. And so but going to Washington, I've always been pushing back on the establishment in Washington. I was one of the 24 that voted against John Boehner as Speaker of the House. So that doesn't necessarily get you to the inside at all.
We talked to Brian. Is it Brian Howey, right?
Yes.
The political commentator and publisher in Indiana, and he said if you lose today, that's going to be a real blow for the Tea Party because you kind of come out of the conservative grassroots or Tea Party movement. Do you agree with that assessment? Is that part of the choice here, too, kind of the traditional Republican establishment versus the conservative grassroots?
Well, I would say this, Dan, that this race is about the frustration that people have with Washington. I mean, Dan, you look at Donald Trump and Ted Cruz, both the leading candidates for the Republican nomination, both considered outsiders. I'm considered an outsider as well in this race. And I'm not going to say that it is a blow. I mean, it's definitely a setback. But what's happened is Mitch McConnell and the Chamber of Commerce have decided to come into this race and try to handpick Todd Young to be the Senate nominee and dumping millions of dollars into this race. And it's really unprecedented. I mean, the fact is we've got to defend Mark Kirk in Illinois. We've got to defend Ron Johnson in Wisconsin and Pat Toomey in Pennsylvania. Mitch McConnell is out spending millions of dollars against a Republican. I mean, either Todd Young or I, we're going to hold this seat for Republicans here in Indiana. It's going to be a strong year for us as Republicans in Indiana. But instead, Mitch McConnell's decided to go after a conservative who has stood up in Washington against the status quo and is now spending millions of dollars that could be used to defend a Mark Kirk or Ron Johnson in Wisconsin. Rather, he's using it to beat up Republicans.
That's actually exactly one of the reasons why Mitch McConnell drew a primary himself last go-around.
That's right. I mean, and you can see the model that he used against Matt Bevin in Kentucky. I mean, he just went negative and just, beat the guy up as badly as possible. He won, but, it left a bad experience for a lot of people in as far as the way that he campaigned. And Todd Young's following the same model. There's been negative ad after negative ad against me from both Todd Young's campaign and the Senate Leadership Fund, which is Mitch McConnell's super PAC. And that's not helping. That's dividing the party, if anything.
No,
I mean, we should be having a race about a campaign about the issues and talking about debt ceiling votes, talking about how we're going to replace Obamacare, how we're going to rein in the federal government.
With 57 GOP delegates at stake, I mean, Indiana is politically important for the first time in decades. Do you expect voter turnout to just be enormous today?
Yeah, we do. It's exciting. I mean, I'm really thrilled for the fact that Indiana's primary matters for the presidential nomination. I was talking to voters yesterday, and this is the first time they're going to vote in a primary because typically it's all over with by the time it gets to Indiana. So it's really exciting for us here in Indiana.
Have you made a decision on the presidential race, or are you staying neutral, staying out of that?
I'm staying neutral because I'll tell you what, if you're a Trump supporter, you should be supporting Stutzman. If you're a Cruz supporter, you should be supporting Stutzman. You look at, we started with 17 candidates in the Republican primary. We're down to these two, and I've just been consistently saying that Washington has a broken system. The special interests have taken over so many of these leadership offices, and the relationship between the leadership offices and special interests, it's just appalling. And so what both Cruz and what Trump have been saying all through this campaign has been the same thing I've been saying. And so we've got half of our campaign filled with Trump supporters, and the other half are Cruz supporters. So we got a strong campaign.
This sounds all very civil. You sure you don't want to get in? I mean, for the Hoosiers listing, a last insult, maybe call Todd Young Lucifer in the flesh or something like that.
No, I'm not going to do that. But I will say that Mitch McConnell and Todd Young are definitely spending millions of dollars to try to pick off the Hoosiers' Senate seat here in Indiana. So, but you know what? I think grassroots are seeing right through their effort, through their campaign and their negative ads. And I'm looking for a big surprise today from Hoosiers that they're not going to let Mitch McConnell have a third or have another senator from Indiana representing Kentucky.
Very good. All right. Oh, that's a good line. All right, yeah. Congressman Marlin Stutzman, a Republican candidate for Senate in today's Indiana Republican primary. Congressman Stutzman, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Great to be with you this morning.
And good luck. And he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Partly sunny today. It's going to be warmer. We will have a shower in spots late this afternoon, but no big deal. A high of 68 degrees. And then tomorrow, mostly cloudy, but the breezy conditions and cooler conditions return. A high only of 53 degrees. Travel times, anything good on the roadways? Here's Jim Telemonte.
Yes, Amy, northbound I-65 is improving quickly. It crashed before 109th Avenue was cleared, so now it's just a little heavy, starting around 231. The Eden's 26 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 23. The Kennedy's getting heavier. It's 31 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 32. The Eisenhower, 57 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, outbound 35. The Stevenson's a mess. An hour and 10 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound, it's 40 minutes, and there's a crash near Loomis in the right lane. The Ryan, 26 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-States, though, 95th to 87th. Archer to LaGrange Road. Jammed from the Reagan Tollway to Grand Avenue. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dobbs. A merger of energy giants called off. GNC conducting a strategic review of its business. Those stories are next.
A message from Ancora Financial.
I remember the day when one of my best friends called and told me that his father had died. We cried together. This devastated his family. But even more devastating, they invested his death benefit in the stock market. And in the crash of 2008, they lost over $1 million. All of their hopes and dreams were shattered yet again. My name is Brent Tixon. After that market crash devastated my friend's family, I determined that would not happen to anyone else that I knew. After years of research, I did find a better way. So today, I'm giving you a free copy of my best-selling book, Secure Your Retirement Dreams with Safe Money. I reveal where the wealthy grow their money safely, get good rates of return, and get tax-free cash loans for retirement. All of this where you don't lose money in the market. If you're concerned about losing your hard-earned wealth in the next stock market crash, then call 1-800-391-0404 right now to get your free copy of Safe Money. The next 47 callers get free shipping and handling. No credit card required. Call 1-800-391-0404.
Faced with opposition by regulators, Halliburton and Baker Hughes abandoned their planned merger. The Justice Department suing to block the deal on the 6th of April, saying it would hurt competition. The Supreme Court has declined to hear a challenge to Seattle's new $15 an hour minimum wage. The International Franchise Association and 5 franchises sued Seattle. They argue the law treats the city's franchises like large businesses because they're part of multi-state networks. The franchises said they're small business and need more time to phase in the higher wage. GNC Holdings conducting a strategic review that includes considering a potential sale of the health and nutrition products retailer. Other options include refranchising, capital structure moves, and partnerships. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
We're so excited about our sold-out golf outing at the Bolingbrook Golf Club coming up on Thursday, June 16th to benefit Operation Support Our Troops America.
If you weren't able to get in this year, don't worry. You can still reserve a tee time at the Bolingbrook Golf Club anytime this spring or summer by visiting BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
And thanks to the sponsors who are making our golf outing possible.
Remax Professionals, Charity Golf International, Dr. Amy and Associates, MJ Miller and Company Jewelers in Barrington, Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli, and Pearl Mortgage.
Welcome to Staples. Staples Guy, you know what business people hate? Stale coffee? Ink. Right. We have to have it, and it's so darn expensive.
Well, Staples just cut ink and toner prices.
Really?
Add in our 110% price match guarantee, and our prices are unbeatable.
Great. Know what else every business owner hates?
What?
Paper cuts.
So true.
For unbeatable prices on ink and toner, Staples. Make more happen. Staples will match price plus refund 10% of the difference at checkout for items from retailers operating online in retail stores or products sold and shipped by Amazon. Limited time. See store or staples.com for details.
I'm Dan Proft with an Upstream Idea brought to you by the Illinois Opportunity Project. 27 Illinois state employees, on average, receive total compensation 27% higher than their private sector counterparts. State employees made nearly $4,000 more in wages and $13,000 in benefits than private sector employees. More than half of state workers will retire before the age of 60 with a guaranteed state pension. The state is in a financial death spiral with ground impact imminent. So keep this in mind as Governor Bruce Rauner breaks off contract talks with AFSCME, the state's largest public sector union. AFSCME has been unwilling to give on its demands for annual step increases of 3.8%, in addition to annual general wage increases. The lowball estimate of the cost of what AFSCME demands is $1.6 billion. That's $1.6 billion more from Illinois families who already pay the highest property taxes in the nation. This is Governor Rauner's moment of truth. He ran for office saying he is not a politician. He said he is a businessman who will make the difficult decisions to turn around the state he loves. We're about to find out if that's true. For more Upstream ideas, visit upstream-ideas.com. AmericanEagle.com. I'm Dan Proft.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy.
This is so exciting.
We were talking about proms earlier. It's that season, and Amy being the North American record holder for most proms attended, kind of an expert in studio. And one of the lives that you touched, Amy, and this is kind of an episode of This Is Your Life, is a young lady named Judy Summers from Long Grove.
Her name is Mrs. Summers. We don't call parents by their first names.
She's not my mom. I don't know.
It's Mrs.
It's
Summers.
It's bad enough. I never got to take any prom pictures.
I'm sorry.
I never got to wear my
cool kids.
I never got to wear my powder blue tuxedo. Mrs. Summers from Long Grove joins us now. Mrs. Summers, thanks for joining us.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great, and I'm looking at a photo of you right now on my deck, pre-prom party, in your light blue dress.
See?
How drunk was she?
I was not drinking, right,
Oh.
Mrs. Summers?
No, never. You were always perfect, and you look darling.
Thank you very much. Now, who was I with that year? Was it Pat
Pat
Samarco?
Samarco.
Ah, Pat Samarco.
It's hard to keep him straight.
Number 6. Yeah, he was number 6.
Sure.
And I don't know if you remember, Amy, but my son-in-law, Paul, took your sister
That's right.
different year.
Jenny Jacobson. That's right.
Yes,
we
right.
spread the love.
Right.
Oh, good. Well, thanks for calling, and thank you. I know that you guys listen every morning, and we
We
really
do. We
appreciate
listen
it.
every morning. Dan, we love your show.
Thank you, Mrs. Summers. I appreciate that.
Okay, it was fun talking.
All right.
Thank
have
you.
a good
Thanks for
day.
calling in. Enjoy waxing nostalgic about Amy in your home. Perfect Amy Jacobson.
Winning. The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
The following is a paid political announcement.
They're made, bought, and we pay the price. Sellout politicians like Congressman Todd Young. Special interests and Mitch McConnell have spent $1 million buying Young a promotion to the Senate. He owes them, not us. Young does as he's told. He voted to raise the debt limit over $2 trillion and voted to fund Obamacare and Obama's amnesty plan. Say no to Congressman Young. We don't need another sellout in Washington. When did Republicans lose their backbone, their guts, their conviction? Some will say they stood up to Obama. That's easy. But who stood up to their own party? That's Marlin Stutzman. Marlin voted against John Boehner, fought sweetheart deals on both sides, and even wrote his own federal budget that actually balances. Marlin knows when Republicans bend, America breaks. Stand strong, Marlin. Conservative Marlin Stutzman for Senate.
I'm Marlin Stutzman, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Stutzman for Senate.
If you're serious about selling your home, now's the time. Supply is low, and it's a great seller's market in many Chicagoland neighborhoods. This is Michael Medved, and I've done some research, and along with my Salem radio colleagues Mike Gallagher and Dennis Prager, we all recommend that you call Saul. Saul Z and the Z team are so good that if they don't sell your home in 59 days, they'll sell it for free. Guaranteed. Saul is ranked 106 out of 1.2 million agents by the Wall Street Journal. His proven marketing system is so effective that he sells on average a home every single day. Now, he does it by attracting multiple full-price offers that increase demand and help sell your home fast and at the highest price. It's a no-brainer. If I were selling a home in Chicagoland, I'd call Saul. Go online to callsaul.net. That's callsaul, S-A-U-L.net. Or call Saul now at 888-346-0666. That's callsaul.net or 888-346-0666. You'd better call Saul.
Listen to what Dave Ryan says about Andro 400.
Andro 400, I really love it. It's amazing to me that I feel so good. I've lost 50 pounds. I was a size 38 waist. I've gone down to a 32 waist. My mood has changed. I don't get stressed out. It gave me so much more energy to walk, energy to play sports. Everything is starting to work again. It feels like I'm 25. My wife is happy. I'm so happy. I'm just a completely different man. I'm taking this stuff to the grave with me.
Men, have you lost energy and gained belly fat? Are you feeling stressed out? Fight back with Andro 400, the safe, natural, and inexpensive way to increase your testosterone. For over a decade, Andro 400 has helped men lose belly fat, gain energy, and feel 20 years younger. Go to andro400.com. andro400.com or call 888-400-0435. 888-400-0435.
How many girls did you go to prom with?
Zero.
It's discriminatory.
Oh, my God.
Coming up at 7:07, Katrina Pearson, national spokesman for the Donald Trump campaign, joins us to ridicule Ted Cruz.
And wait until you hear what ESPN did to Curt Schilling. They're trying to stick it to him again. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, police say it was an attempted child abduction in Des Plaines. We'll have details on that developing story. A light pole tumbles down on 3 girls in the city of Chicago, 1 injured severely. The mayor backs a proposal raising the surcharge on your Airbnb stay. Andrea Zopp will land in the Emmanuel cabinet. The Cubs beat the Pirates last night. Partly sunny and warmer. Complete look at weather after Fox and WIND Chicago News Time, 7 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. ISIS takes out an American. A U.S. service member killed today in Iraq. Fox's Jessica Gallagher live in our Middle East Bureau.
Dave, the American died during a battle between ISIS and Kurdish Peshmerga forces about 20 miles north of Mosul. The AP is reporting the soldier was an advisor to the Peshmerga when he died as a result of direct fire. The U.S.-led coalition says a total of 23 strikes were used to help the Peshmerga forces and their counterattack against the Islamic insurgents. There are some 5,000 U.S. troops on the ground in Iraq and Syria. Dave.
Jessica, Indiana voters are taking their turn voting for president.
This is the Trump or not Trump election in Indiana. You are either for Trump or you want to see a contested convention. And if you do, you're voting for Cruz.
Now Fox's Jeff Manasso live in South Bend.
Dave, it's the center of the political universe here in Indiana where the stakes couldn't be higher for Ted Cruz.
The polls are everywhere. I'll tell you where this race is. This race is effectively tied here in the state of Indiana. It is neck and neck.
And the voting is crucial here for Cruz if he wants to stop Donald Trump from clinching the nomination.
I backed McCain. He didn't win. I backed Romney. Should have won, didn't win. I said, this time, we're going to do it ourselves, folks. We're going to win.
Trump at a rally here in South Bend last night where thousands of supporters showed up, and Trump saying that if he wins today, that the primary process, Dave, is all but over.
Jeff Bernie Sanders hopes Indiana Democrats give him an 18th victory, but Hillary Clinton has a slight lead in the polls. She was in West Virginia yesterday facing some upset coal miners.
I just want to know how you can say you're going to put a lot of coal miners out of jobs and then come in here and tell us how you're going to be our friend.
What I said was totally out of context from what I meant. It was a misstatement.
Thousands of kids in Detroit won't go to school a second day in a row because their teachers won't show up, upset they may not get paid over the summer. Almost every Detroit school will be closed again today. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Sunshine, 44 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A suburban Buffalo Grove woman clinging to life in Wisconsin after she was shot while driving home from the Dells. Tracy Chakowski was wounded in the next Sunday, riding with her family near Lake Delton, Wisconsin. Authorities believe the gunshots were fired by a person in an SUV who was wanted for an earlier murder. That suspect was eventually shot by law enforcement and then taken into custody. A pair of teen boys are dead following separate Southside shootings. Police say a 14-year-old was shot last night while riding in an SUV on Ashland Avenue. A 15-year-old then suffered multiple gunshot wounds. Several hours later, walking through an alley, both victims died later at area hospitals. Andrea Zopp may soon become Chicago's new deputy mayor. Sun-Times says the mayor, Rahm Emanuel, has offered her that position. She would be in charge of overseeing major city projects. There's a new president this morning set to take over the College of DuPage. Board of Trustees has selected retired Navy Vice Admiral Anne Rondeau during a special meeting last night. Her term begins July 1st, replacing the fired president, Robert Bruder. The National Wrestling Hall of Fame has voted to revoke all honors for Dennis Hastert after the former House Speaker was accused of sexually abusing teenage boys decades ago. The Oklahoma-based organization said late yesterday its Board of Governors has now approved that revocation after its ethics committee found Hastert's actions were detrimental to wrestling's ideals and objectives. Chicago sports, Cubs over Pittsburgh, 7-2. And the news, a service of Napa Auto Parts. Stop by Napa Auto Parts stores now through the end of May and get an easy-to-install Bluetooth car kit for just $14.99. That's Napa know-how. 7:04, time to check the climate of your business with aircomfort.com. 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. And a check of traffic and weather on the way next. on AM 560.
The battle for the Republican nomination is racing towards the convention this summer in Cleveland.
Nobody is going to have enough delegates. We are going to go to a convention. It's going to be open.
Can Trump be stopped?
The only campaign that has beaten Donald Trump and the only campaign that can beat Donald Trump is this campaign.
Will there be a third-party run?
Donald Trump is a phony, a fraud.
What happens next?
We should make it pretty easily based on what I'm seeing.
Happens here.
So we won't have to worry about fighting at a convention.
This is AM 560. The Answer.
World, say hello to some old friends. It's been a long time, but they remember you. They're my toes, and they've been hidden ever since I got nail fungus. Yeah, nail fungus. I know, embarrassing, right? Really ugly stuff that I just couldn't get rid of. Tried several doctors, took pills, creams, even considered surgery. Of course, with that, you lose your nail, and there's no guarantee that the fungus won't come back. So I tried Clear Touch. Clear Touch is a little handheld device you use at home. It's painless because it uses light. Yes, light to travel fast and deep. Can't believe I went so long hiding my toes when this simple, inexpensive solution was waiting right there at Clear Touch. Clear Touch is even cleared by the FDA because it's safe and works. Yeah, my toes saw the light. So, world, I'd appreciate it if you could pass the word about Clear Touch, the phototherapy solution that works. Call 800-279-7573. That's 800-279-7573. That's 800-279-7573 or cleartouchnails.com.
Life can be unpredictable. That's why you should take control of your family's future now with an estate plan bundle from LegalZoom. Not sure whether you need a last will or a living trust? LegalZoom's network of independent attorneys in 48 states can help you decide which one's right for you without billing by the hour, since LegalZoom isn't a law firm. Plus, updating your estate plan as your family and assets grow couldn't be easier. Enjoy your life. Use LegalZoom for the legal stuff. LegalZoom. Legal help is here.
Thousands of people are choosing to drive with Uber. That's where the riders are. So drivers have less downtime, are busier making more trips, earning more money.
I choose to drive with Uber because of the money and flexibility. I'm my own boss. I get to do what I want, when I want, and still earn extra money. Driving with Uber is the smartest thing I've done.
Earn the extra money you need. Just an hour or two a day and the money adds up fast when you drive with Uber. Get started today. Take 2 minutes and sign up right now. Go to drivewithuber.com. Drivewithuber.com.
7:06 in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. Let's get the very latest this morning with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Kennedy now has delays all the way in from O'Hare. It's 40 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 25 from Montrose, 15 in the Express. Outbound 35 minutes downtown to the airport. Edens, 30 minutes Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound 24. The Eisenhower is an hour and 25 minutes from Thorndale to downtown. It's an hour and 10 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 41 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 20 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, an hour 5 from the Tri-State. Outbound 39 minutes to 355. Ryan is 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State delays. Southwest Highway to LaGrange Road. From the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis. From the Reagan Tollway to Grand Avenue. Adams Tollway slow Barrington to 53. Reagan Tollway very slow from Highland to the Tri-State. The Veterans Memorial has delays. Boughton to the Reagan Tollway and Butterfield to St. Charles. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Partial sunshine today with a late afternoon shower in spots with a high of 68. Then a couple of showers mainly later tonight with a low of 46. Tomorrow, breezy and cooler with a shower in the area during the day with a high 53. Then clearing at night with a low 39. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
44 at O'Hare and 45 along Chicago's lakefront. Our next news update is at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Turnkey IT, giving you the freedom to focus on your business while they handle the technical stuff. Turnkey IT.
Good morning. Welcome to your Tuesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
If we win, it's over. And then I can focus. Then I don't have to worry about lying Ted Cruz, and I don't care if he endorses me or does. I couldn't care less.
Will you support his candidacy if he, Donald Trump, gets the delegates before Cleveland?
Dana, nobody's going to get to 1237. I'm not going to get to it, but neither is Donald Trump.
Your piece accused Bernie of demagoguery.
He is a demagogue, railing against billionaires as if that's the real problem. The real problem is we have a difficult, shifting global economy, in which, by the way, the United States is doing better than almost any other country on the planet.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So Trump has the opportunity to really tie this thing up today. Even if he doesn't win Indiana, as we've seen some analyses, including from Nate Cohn and the New York Times, he still has a reasonable path to 1237. Nate Silver, 538 blog, did his weighted average of the polling averages and projects Trump with a narrow victory, 41-38. I know some other polls have the margin bigger than that. So, these polls are snapshots in time, which is why you go to the sabermetricians like Nate Cohn or Nate Silver, maybe get a better handle on where the race is going. But if he does win, he closes it out. Then the question becomes, which is one of the questions that's been nagging the Trump campaign, even as he's piling up victories in the last couple of weeks, how does he unite the party? Let's say he gets to 1237 plus. How does he unite the party? Well, let's put that question to Trump National Campaign spokesman Katrina Pearson, who joins us now. Katrina, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Oh, great to be here. Good to talk to you, Dan and Amy.
And so, you heard Trump at the top there yesterday in Indiana saying, if he wins today, it's over, and he doesn't care if, quote-unquote, Lion Ted endorses him or not. He doesn't really believe that, does he? He needs Ted Cruz and Ted Cruz supporters to fall in if he's the nominee, doesn't he?
Well, of course. Mr. Trump needs everyone to come together to unite the party, but what Mr. Trump is saying is that he doesn't really want to spend a lot of time on getting the politicians themselves behind him. He wants to focus on taking his message to the public and getting the people on board.
Well, when is he going to elevate his rhetoric, make it more of a mature campaign? Because I've been to California a few times. I've met with my Republican girlfriends, and they're waiting for him to, as they put it, grow up a little bit.
No, well, we have definitely heard a lot that people want Mr. Trump to be, quote unquote, more presidential. And Mr. Trump is going to focus on the larger issues once we get through this nomination. Again, he's talked about having 16 opponents plus the special interests, millions, even hundreds of millions of dollars going against him, 55,000 attack ads to date, and he responds to those. And it's proven to be quite effective.
Yeah, well, there's no question. You can't argue with the success. But as you turn your sights to the general election, are you suggesting that there's going to be a little bit less of the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde routine where he gives a scripted speech like he gave on foreign policy last week, but then turns around and on the campaign trail is back to questioning Ted Cruz's citizenship and those sorts of things?
Well, Ted Cruz won't be in the general election, but you will see Donald Trump continue to be Donald Trump at these rallies. These rallies are opportunities for Mr. Trump to engage with his supporters. He loves them. They love him. And they have fun at these rallies, and they laugh and they play. And that's what we see on the TV. We hear the things that Mr. Trump says, but we don't see the crowd's response afterwards. And he's engaging the voters, and voters appreciate that. And you will continue to see Mr. Trump give more prepared speeches, for example, on the economy and taxation, more on foreign policy coming up. So you're going to continue to see the Trump at rallies where he's engaging and having fun with the voters, and you're going to see the Donald Trump commander-in-chief.
When it's not all fun and games at Trump rallies, we saw that over the weekend in California, and I wonder how the campaign, if he's the nominee, assuming for the sake of discussion he's the nominee, I wonder how the campaign is preparing for the kind of rolling protests from the professional agitators that will probably be attendant to Trump rallies nationally in a way they really haven't been. They've been pockets, but they haven't been in a Republican primary. Changes with the general, and when Hillary unleashes all the horrors from the left, that's going to be attendant to every Trump rally. How's the campaign project to deal with that?
Well, the campaign has been saying this entire time, particularly that started in Chicago, where we did see the paid protesters come out and the anti-American rhetoric and the burning of the American flags. And that's actually something that Hillary Clinton is going to have to deal with. In recent events, we've seen signs from La Raza. We've seen Bernie Sanders supporters. So really, I believe it's up to those leaders to condemn this kind of activity.
So how is Donald Trump? I'm sure you speak with him every day. How is he feeling this morning?
Mr. Trump feels great. He has spent an amazing amount of time in Indiana with their voters, has received some amazing endorsements. And I think most people understand by now Mr. Trump loves people. He loves being with people. And he's having a really good time on the campaign trail promoting his vision of making America great again through job creation, with fair trade, cutting off special interests, and bringing jobs back to this country, and his common sense foreign policy. His message is resonating, and he's very excited today to put it into this.
I heard one of his campaign. I watched it in Fort Wayne, Indiana, when he promised people out of work that he's going to bring them jobs. How is he going to do that?
Well, just a quick reminder that Mr. Trump has brought thousands of jobs to Indiana just in his own company. But when we're talking about trade and the imbalance of trade, which NAFTA is what really shoved millions of jobs overseas, he wants to renegotiate a lot of these treaties to make them fair trade, not necessarily free trade, where we can have this give and take when it comes to jobs. And more importantly, all the other candidates in the race are supporting the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which is like NAFTA on steroids. This incorporates even wage control from an international organization, and that's something that we have to stop if we want to keep the jobs that we have here. But when we do get back to common sense governance, then we can bring jobs back to this country, either through taxation or renegotiating trade deals.
Well, we're talking to Katrina Pearson. She's the national campaign spokesperson for the Donald Trump for President campaign. And just sticking on trade for a second, I mean, does Donald Trump really believe in using punitive tariffs against American companies and trying to kind of protect American companies from competition through a trade policy as well? Or is that just a ploy to try and attract Bernie supporters in general?
Well, I think it gives you a tangible thought of what can be done. And right now, what Mr. Trump is talking about are the exports and imports that we currently have. These other countries aren't paying anything when they're sending things to our country, when we're being taxed all over the place. And so that's simply not fair. So the incentive to keep countries to keep companies inside the United States is say, okay, fine, if you're going to go to another country, then you're going to pay a tax like everybody else. He's basically saying the same thing has to apply across the board in order to keep these jobs here. At the same time, under a Trump administration, when these deals are renegotiated, when we do cut out special interests, and when we do change taxation, those companies won't need a reason to leave to begin with. But he's just providing a tangible way for people to understand what it may look like.
No, yesterday, Ted Cruz was confronted with a Donald Trump supporter. Do you know who that Trump supporter was, and did you place them in that position so that they could confront Ted Cruz?
No, actually, Ted Cruz went over to the Trump supporters. I don't know who those Trump supporters were, but Ted Cruz took it upon himself to walk over to a crowd of Trump supporters to engage them directly. So you'd have to ask Ted Cruz what the logic was on that.
Thinking about the general election again against Hillary, looking ahead a little bit, GOP consultant Mike Murphy suggests that Donald Trump's going to turn his insult comedy against Hillary Clinton, or Crooked Hillary, as he calls Hillary. And Murphy saying Hillary's big judo move is going to be to play the victim. Now, the next time that Mike Murphy is right about something in this campaign will be the first time. And so Peter Beinart has an interesting piece in The Atlantic where he actually suggests Hillary is not going to play the victim. She doesn't like to do that. She's not good at it. What she's better and more inclined to do is get on offense and beat Donald Trump to the punch and, take this into the mud effectively. And I wonder what the thinking is with respect to Hillary and how preemptively antagonistic she may be, combined with $20 million that Democrats are preparing to spend attacking Donald Trump with negative ads in swing states in June.
Well, Hillary is likely going to play the victim. In fact, she already has with her, I've had, experience dealing with men who leave the reservation.
Yes.
That is playing the victim, and it doesn't work well for her. But I don't believe Donald Trump is going to be concerned about playing nice or even trying to avoid that. He's simply going to point out the obvious. and that is she does have bad judgment. He's going to point out her positions in the past, which is why she is running on paid family leave and other women's issues, because she doesn't want to run on her record. She doesn't want to run on Libya. She doesn't want to run on her emails. She doesn't want to run on her position as Secretary of State and what happened in Benghazi. But we're going to continue to point that out. So it's going to make it more difficult for her to play the victim once the general public knows her actual positions.
Trump has said that as terms of his running mate, his vice presidential running mate, he's looking for somebody that's in elective office or has been in elective office. Are you guys at the stage yet where there's a short list?
You know, I think that's a great question, and it's a question being asked a lot. No, we are not there yet. I'm sure Mr. Trump is personally thinking about these things, but right now he is solely focused on locking up this nomination, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be a list put in front of him once that's completed, and then he'll get to work on that.
And the other list that's important, and I wonder if this has been compiled and submitted to you yet, is the discussion that the campaign, Donald Trump, enlisted the Heritage Foundation and the Federalist Society to come up with some suggestions in terms of judges or attorneys, or you don't need to be, but most likely judges or attorneys who would be a good Supreme Court justice nominee. Is that process moved along? Have those think tanks submitted their list to you?
That process is definitely moving along. Mr. Trump is committed to picking very good, strong, conservative, pro-America individuals for many of these positions. A lot of these organizations have several people in mind that they would like to request and submit. I'm not sure if they've all submitted their list yet, but that process is being worked on, and Mr. Trump is going to definitely consider everyone they send over.
And I hope Ted Cruz is on the list, right? Is he?
I'm pretty sure Ted Cruz might actually be on that list, considering some of the think tanks that are participating.
Yeah, well, that's actually a good point. Also thinking about just sticking into the general election here, what is it that concerns the campaign about Hillary Clinton? The Hillary Clinton campaign, or at least those around her and other analysts, say, look, she may be saying one thing, but there is concern about the unpredictability of Donald Trump. Is there something that concerns the Trump campaign about Hillary Clinton?
You know, I'm going to have to be very honest with you and say no. We are dealing with a challenger who has been saying the same thing for about 40 years, whose husband spent time as president, and they're still complaining about the same thing. She herself was Secretary of State. The Democrats have been in charge for the last 8 years, and they are still talking about the exact same issues. And Mr. Trump's campaign is different. He has a new vision, a new policy concept with regard to foreign policy and even job creation, for that matter. And he has this concept of putting America first, which is something that, though has been politically incorrect for quite some time, Americans want that. And they don't want to see ISIS-infiltrated Syrian refugees coming into this country. They don't want to see their Social Security benefits given to illegal aliens. They don't want to see preference given in education and jobs to children who were not born in this country. They don't want to see the American dream, the legacy of all Americans, being completely dismantled just because it's a woman. We are finally going to get back to showing that Republicans are the party of equality, from Susan B. Anthony to civil rights. Liberals are just pushing entitlements, and that is a losing message for Americans.
When did you guys realize that the Trump candidacy had become more than a candidacy and had turned into a political movement?
You know, I'd have to say over the summer, I was on board with Donald Trump 6 months before he even entered the race, because I knew that he had the qualities that many Americans would appreciate right now, having spent 7 years on the ground in the grassroots Tea Party movement. But I think over the summer, after he put out his immigration policy, which was definitely wildly popular among a lot of the Republican voters, and to see the excitement and the rallies, the number of people that were showing up to this Republican presidential primary gathering were astounding. Particularly, there were so many young women and minorities and just people from all shades, types, and colors that showed up to these Trump rallies. We knew then that the momentum was coming. We knew then that Mr. Trump was going to do very well, and it was just really exciting.
All right. She is Katrina Pearson, national spokesperson for the Trump campaign. Katrina, thanks for joining us. Good luck today.
great to be here. Thank you.
And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Mostly cloudy skies right now. It will be warmer. We can't rule out a brief shower late this afternoon. A high of 68 degrees, and enjoy it because tomorrow's going to be cool and breezy around here. A high of just 53 degrees, but back to normal on Thursday and Friday when we get back into the 60s, and by Friday in the mid-70s. Any good news on the roadways? Here's Jim Telemonte.
Not really, Amy. The Eisenhower is an hour and 25 minutes to get from Thorndale to downtown. Outbound, it's 39 minutes, and the Stevenson's not much better. It's an hour and 20 minutes from 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Eden's heavier now. 35 minutes Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound 28. The Kennedy 50 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 40. The Ryan is 30 minutes from 95th to the Loop, and the tollways are heavy too. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
No matter what type of business you're in, having a strong business banking partnership can help your bottom line. I'm Jeff Boundy, president of Cornerstone National Bank and Trust Company. We strongly believe that trust, service, and relationship are the cornerstone of a successful business banking partnership. Customers like Rick Williams of Pump Supply agree.
Hi, my name is Rick Williams, owner of Pump Supply Incorporated. As a business owner, I recognize the importance of relationships. I need a bank that understands my business and is able to respond quickly and creatively to the needs of my company. Cornerstone has been a valuable business partner and has helped me grow my company and seize opportunities as I come across them. Whether it's providing a line of credit or financing the acquisition of equipment or real estate, Cornerstone has been there for me every step of the way.
Thanks, Rick. Please visit cornerstonenb.com, or I invite you to give me a call at 847-654-3000 to explore a business banking partnership.
Equal Opportunity Lender, member FDIC. Here's a quiz. Is identity theft just when someone other than you puts charges on your credit card? Nope, that's part of it, but identity theft is actually when someone pretends they're you for any number of undesirable reasons, like opening new accounts or a utility bill. Is it true that identity theft can't happen to you? Nope. 1 in 4 people have experienced identity theft. Will LifeLock help you more with identity theft than free credit monitoring will? Yep. LifeLock's proprietary technology detects a huge range of identity threats. And if you ever have a problem, one of our US-based agents will work to resolve it. So how'd you do on the quiz? Come on, how'd you really do? No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But with LifeLock, you get a versus a when it comes to identity protection. Membership starts at just $9.99 a month plus applicable taxes. Go to LifeLock.com and enter promo code NEWS to get 10% off now. LifeLock.
Do you know what a RIA is? It's a real estate investor association, and it's where smart people go to obtain wholesale houses, obtain no money, no credit financing, meet local buyers, sellers, and investing partners, and receive local market intelligence and training. Don't buy houses retail. That's ridiculous. And please don't waste your time and money going to a get-rich-quick seminar from a traveling pitchman. Come network with local Chicagoland real estate investors that are just getting started or taking it to the next level. Come join the largest real estate investor network in Chicagoland. We meet on Tuesday, May 10th at 6 p.m. at the Chicago Marriott Schaumburg on Martingale Road. And you can register to attend for free by calling 800-868-4914. 800-868-4914. This month's topic, how to get all the money you need for real estate deals. Call 800-868-4914. Write it down. That's 800-868-4914 to attend any of our upcoming meetings and receive a valuable real estate training program for free. 800-868-4914. Brought to you by the Schaumburg Wealth Club.
AM 560. The Answer.
Dan and Amy were just talking to Katrina Pearson, national spokesman for the Trump campaign. Let's get some reactions from our friends and listening audience. Marianne in Schaumburg, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, good morning. I started out with Rubio, then I was leaning towards Cruz, and now I'm pretty solid on Trump. And the reason for that is listening to Cruz talking to the Trump supporters. He was using all the language that the rioters are using about hate, about bigotry. He's fueling the rioters where people people are put in danger because of that, and he's fueling it for political gain. So that has just shut me down to Cruz now, and I'm now solidly a Trump supporter.
Okay, thanks, Marianne. I'm not sure I've heard that. I've heard a distillation of Trump's record, but okay. Dave in Fox Lake.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. It's so good to see you coming to the realization that Donald J. Trump is the nominee for the Republican presidency. And I'm so happy to hear that you guys are conceding that he is the man. And I'm going to tell you another thing. You ought to make sure you get a copy of that interview with Katrina Pearson, because she handled you two nasty folks like a professional. You two behaved. You were rude and you were very nasty to her, but she handled you like a pro, something you know nothing about.
I've been manhandled by a woman. Yeah.
Thanks for listening, Dave, to us two nasty people.
Nasty.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
You know, I've always been afraid we don't get enough, and that's why I feel so secure in taking Balance of Nature. But as long as I can get those fruits and vegetables, that's what, to me, is very important.
Well, you know, I heard all the advertisements on the radios where I first heard about this, and of course, I thought, well, you know, I need to order that because I don't get my fruits and vegetables like I should. I eat some, but not all. So I started taking the product, and I've taken it religiously now for, I guess, 3 months, going on 3 months now. And I told my wife I can definitely tell a difference. So it's a good product.
Make the change today. No more synthetics, no more extracts. Today is your chance to get it right. Accept and complete Dr. Howard's 120-day health challenge to earn a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll have that at 7:37.
But first, let's go back into the newsroom and say good morning once again to Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. We're following developments in Iraq this morning where a U.S. service member has been killed by ISIS fighters. Speaking to reporters today, Defense Secretary Ash Carter gave few details on the incident, only saying it was a combat death near Erbil. The ISIS attack reportedly ended by airstrikes carried out by American and coalition aircraft in the area. Polls are open today for the Indiana presidential primary. It's looking like this could be the last chance for Republican candidate Ted Cruz to slow up Donald Trump.
Do we get behind a campaign that is based on yelling and screaming and cursing and insults? Or do we continue to unify behind a positive, optimistic, forward-looking, conservative campaign?
Trump has already declared himself the GOP's presumptive nominee. Hillary Clinton saying her Republican rival Trump and his foreign policy are not an intelligent way to lead the world.
I don't think loose talks about loose nukes. I don't think turning our back on our strongest allies. I don't think pretending you have some sort of secret plan is a very smart way to go forward in leading the world.
Appearing on CNN's State of the Union. Today's annual report on religious freedom is raising some concerns. U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom says religious freedom remains under serious and sustained assault around the world. Independent government advisory body is calling on the State Department to add 7 new countries to its list of the world's worst abusers of religious freedom and human rights. A suburban Buffalo Grove woman is fighting for her life after she was shot while driving home from the Wisconsin Dells. Tracy Chakowski was wounded in the neck. Authorities believe the gunshots were fired by a person Sunday in an SUV wanted in an earlier murder. That suspect was eventually captured by law enforcement and shot, then taken into custody. A pair of teen boys are dead following 2 separate Southside shootings in Chicago. Mayor Emanuel backing a proposed ordinance that would raise the surcharge on house sharing services like Airbnb to 40%. And overnight, a new president is now set to take over the College of DuPage as the Board of Trustees selects retired Navy Vice Admiral Anne Roundow during last night's special meeting. Her term begins July 1st, replacing the fired Robert Bruder. Cubs over Pittsburgh 7-2 behind nice outing from Jason Hamill, who moves to 4-0 on the year. The news, a service of Timeshare Exit Team. Do you feel like you're trapped in your timeshare contract? Get out now, safely and legitimately at timeshareexitteam.com. They will get you out or give you a full refund. 844-321-EXIT, 844-321-EXIT. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager explains why it's difficult to argue with the left.
It is the GOP that is closer to the scientific consensus. 65% of scientists want more nuclear power, too. Why is the left opposed to nuclear power? For the same reason it's opposed to fossil fuels, even though nuclear power has zero greenhouse gases, because they're hysterical. That's right. It's all hysteria.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, Mother's Day, Father's Day, right around the corner, and we have the best idea. Give them the gift of a great night's sleep. And you can get that great night's sleep with a MyPillow. It conforms to your neck and back. It helps with chronic neck, back pain, snoring. If you have allergies, it's great because you can throw it in the washer and dryer, and you're good to go that next night. And right now, we still have the 2-for-1 deal, so visit MyPillow.com. Type Amy in that promo code, 2 MyPillows for the price of 1. Plus, there's a 60-day full money-back guarantee if you're not satisfied, and it's the official pillow of the National Sleep Foundation. What's not to love? Go to MyPillow.com, Amy in that promo code, or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201, and be sure to tell them that Amy sent you.
Tea times, golf outings, driving range, golf academy, brunch, dinner, weddings, banquets, receptions. Find and do it all at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. Info online at BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
CertaPro painters are here for every stage of your life, from moving into a new home, creating the ideal nursery, to reinventing your living space. CertaPro painting experts create the perfect setting while you do life. They came to our home and brightened our walls and our moods so very quiet they wouldn't wake a baby. But the best part? They clean up after themselves so you don't have to do it. And now that spring is here, it is the perfect time to spruce up your home's exterior. Take a look at your home. Do you see chipping, peeling, fading? Well, leave it to CertaPro painting experts to refresh, renew, and protect your biggest investment, your home. Now is the time to call for your free estimate and schedule your exterior painting project. 1-800-GO-CERTA, 1-800-GOCERTA. That's CERTA with a C. Or visit CertaPro.com today, CertaPro.com. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
7:36 in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. The latest now with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The Edens inbound is 35 minutes. Lake Hook to Montrose outbound 28. The Kennedy. Really slow Canfield to downtown. It's an hour and 5 minutes from O'Hare to the Burns Circle. Outbound it's 50 minutes. The Eisenhower, an hour and 25 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. An hour 10 from Manheim. Outbound 45 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 15 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 39 minutes. The Ryan before 91st, metal debris reported in the right lane. 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State, there's scattered delays from Southwest Highway to 31st. It's jammed from the Reagan Tollway to Grand Avenue. Veterans Memorial, still about to the Reagan Tollway, Butterfield to St. Charles, and Army Trail to 290. Traffic is a service of Subway. All May at Subway. Get a free, delicious 6-inch breakfast sandwich when you buy any sandwich before 9 a.m., making May the best month ever. That's right, all month long before 9 a.m. Your breakfast is free when you buy any sandwich you'd like. The Subway Sandwich Shop. Fresh is what they do. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. Partly sunny and warmer today. There could be a shower in spots late this afternoon, high 68. Couple of showers overnight, mainly cloudy, low 46. 47 at O'Hare, 51 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 8. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Advanced Planning Advisors, bringing you Smart Money Talk with Mike Moylan and Rob Curvin, Saturday mornings at 6.
Let not your heart be troubled. Listen to me, Sean Hannity. I'll have the latest news and what it all means for you. It's coming up at 2 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So what do you think of Governor Rauner, his handling of the budget impasse, his handling of matters that have bubbled up to statewide debate like funding higher education? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 646-36DA, turnkey.pro text line. You with Ronner or are you not with him when it comes to matters like dealing with higher ed funding in the context of the budget impasse? And I asked that question because after he and the General Assembly were able to forge a $600 million temporary funding
A bailout
bill.
sort of?
Well,
Sort
it's
of?
temporary funding.
Yeah.
Last week, Governor Ronner went to U of I on Thursday, University of Illinois in Champaign.
To apply to be the new mascot?
No.
Because they're taking applications right now.
For Chief Illini Wick, they're bringing him back?
No, they need a new image, yeah. Sorry, Chief.
How about like someone in a diaper crying all the time? That's the perfect new
You know
image
what?
for, college kids and these campuses.
Let's take calls on that, too. What should be the new mascot be for University of Illinois?
Yeah.
312-642-5600.
Well, why he was actually at U of I was to congratulate students who, as part of a venture competition, were encouraged to create new businesses. So he's congratulating the winners of this basically entrepreneurial capitalist competition. It's rare that that's even occurring. That's an encouraging note. And he was treated when he arrived at U of I campus to a couple of dozen students in the hallways outside this competition saying this.
A lot of guys cheering for more money, which we'll deliver hopefully soon.
No, not that. Saying this. Yeah, they're not.
The syllables. Hey. They're on the offbeat.
Yeah. Well, you can
They
go
gotta get
down.
it together.
You can consult with the Glee Club for the protesters down there.
Let me guess, they're probably all Bernie Sanders fans, and they want their college education paid for because that's what Bernie Sanders is promising everyone.
Well, let me give you a sampling of what some U of I students who were protesting had to say. Here's University of Illinois student named Brandon Hudspeth.
He's running today to try to protest Governor Ronner's policies to get full funding for math, full funding for the University of Illinois, and to ensure this doesn't happen again. We at least gave him the message that he desperately needed to hear, which was people screaming in his face that this higher ed crisis can't go on much longer.
This higher ed crisis can't go on much longer. Ron Lewis, he's the president of the student body at U of I. He also explained the nature of the protest.
It's been hectic around the state with not having a budget. So many other schools are in jeopardy of closing. Seniors are, potentially not even being able to graduate. So we stand together as, college students at a state where we can't even pass a budget. So it's affecting everyone. And I definitely think that, he took the opportunity to really take heed of what's going on. And he knows that, we care and we're here to really fight for everybody, all the students at the state of Illinois, to see that we're together and we stand in solidarity with everyone.
Well, Bruce Ronner, or Governor Ronner, he cares too. But we don't have any more money to throw at problems.
Last week, also you had the note that 300 layoffs issued at Chicago State University. It's
And that saves, what, $2 million a month? That's what they said.
Yeah, something along that line.
That's a nice chunk of change.
300 layoffs at Chicago State. It's predominantly a minority, low-income student population, a little older population, too, people kind of coming back to school and maybe had an uneven start to their life. So it's fine. I'm a proponent of higher education, but let me suggest something. And I think the governor would be well-suited to make this point rather than just cut his trip short, which is what he did at U of I. Illinois provides twice as much per pupil funding. The state of Illinois, meaning taxpayers, twice as much per pupil funding as neighboring states do for the conference peers. So the Big Ten conference peers of U of I, the MVC conference peers of Illinois State, and so on. Twice as much. And yet tuition, in-state tuition, 30 to 40% higher in Illinois than it is in neighboring states with conference peers. So we provide twice as much funding, and families to send their kids to ISU or U of I or anywhere else, public schools, state schools, are paying 30 to 40% more. Problem with that? I do. And so here's what I would suggest the governor do for all these people protesting that just want the system to be funded at its current level, much like the Chicago Democrats want everything to be funded at its current level. Fund everything at its current level, and then a little bit of a premium on top in a state with $211 billion in debt and $30 billion in assets. In the worst governed, worst credit rated state in the nation with the largest unfunded pension liability and the highest property taxes. But keep doing everything we've been doing, except a little bit more. Well, Governor Rauner is trying to say the obvious, that's not sustainable. And so here would be my proposition to university presidents. You can have it one of two ways, because we're going to reduce the cost of accessing higher education for Illinois families. That's what we're going to do. So you can choose which way you want to do it. Do you want to bring your tuition down by 30 to 40% so it is commensurate with your conference peers? I mean, reducing college tuition, in-state college tuition for Illinois families by that much, that's substantial savings.
Or?
So you can do that, and we'll fund you at current levels. Or we'll bring our state support down to the level of other states in terms of what they provide for your conference peers.
Well, where is this money going?
Administration. You know, have you seen what the salaries are at places like U of I and UIC? We had a great report that was done by the Illinois Policy Institute. You can check it out at illinoispolicy.org. $900,000 administrator at U of I. $900,000. Getting like a
In
400.
Champaign, you're going to like buy yourself a nice farm, 1,000-acre farm.
You could buy yourself champagne.
Yeah.
$400,000 retention bonus.
What?
Yeah. So now there's other complicating factors here in terms of what U of I and what General Assembly has done with U of I specifically in terms of kind of hamstringing them. All those mandates could be discussed as well. But what about that? What about your university presidents, administrations? You're going to bring down the cost of attending a state university or college in Illinois so that's consistent with your competitors, or we're going to bring down the state support, but we're not going to fleece Illinois families in both directions, which is what's happening now. And I'm sure none of those students that were coming up with those creative chants have any idea that that's the case. Frankly, most people don't know that's the case, and this is the governor's responsibility to do some educating while he's doing some advocating. You need to bring people along if you want system change. Let's go to Kenny at O'Hare. Hey, Kenny, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, guys. I wanted to, first of all, say I'm kind of clueless about the phone call you had before. You know, you're great. I don't think you're anti-Trump in any way, and even Amy on a good day, you'll think she's a positive Trump person. So,
thanks. And am I having a good day or bad day?
It's a pretty good day today.
Pretty good day.
Yeah, I'm not. Hey, look, I'm not saying that about that. That guy's just crazy. That's all I'm saying. You know, as for Rauner, I think he's great. This is probably what Detroit was like right before it came to an end. Rauner's making a stand, and if somebody doesn't do it, the state of Illinois and Chicago's going bankrupt, and everybody's going to lose everything in the process.
Thanks for the call, Kenny. Dan in Wilmette.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good.
Right now, the Democrats can pass the budget, their own budget. They can override the veto. They don't have any issue with moving forward. The reason they're doing this is simply to try and hang the tax increase on a Republican governor. But one thing you touched on, Dan, earlier was real estate taxes. And this is something you should focus on and expose to the people of Illinois. Right now, our real estate taxes in the Collier counties and Cook County are more than double the taxes in places like Rye, New York.
Yes.
Or New York City. More than double. What's happening? We have income taxes that are similar, but we have real estate taxes that are double. And forget about comparing it to Indiana. It's 5, 6, 7 times what it is in Indiana.
Yeah.
Just take a $1 million house and compare it to Rye, New York, or Rye, New York, or any place in Connecticut, and it just blows you away.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Dan. You're right. We will talk more about that. I mean, what's happening in Illinois? You get a 30-year fixed, you pay for your home 1.5 times. Mm-hmm. In Illinois, you pay for your home another time. It's getting to that point, another time just with property taxes. It's absurd. And it's a conversation that Governor Rauner's tried to have with things like consolidating the number of units of government. More units of government than any state in the nation by a wide margin.
Like what, 7,000?
7,000 units of government, exactly. 21,000 elected officials, all with their little fiefdoms, all with taxing power. So it's layers upon layers upon layers. All you have to do is look at your property tax bill and see the number of units of government.
Do you think part-time legislatures would be a good idea?
Well,
Similar to what they do in Indiana and Texas?
Well, I think there's so many good ideas, that among them, yes. Steve in Hinsdale.
Yes, I worked at a prestigious academic medical center in Chicago as the administrator of a very high-profile medical department, and I was given the mandate not to hire graduates of certain public state-funded universities in Chicago simply because they were unprepared and were unable to perform adequately. Point is, we have too many public universities and colleges. We could do with a lot fewer, and everybody would be fine. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Steve. Ed in Oak Brook.
Yeah, you know what? I'm very passionate about this because I just got my tax bill from DuPage County, and it went up like $5,000, even though home values are going down. You can't even sell them anymore. And the problem is that the teachers and the administrators in DuPage County, that's where I'm at, are so outrageous, and plus their pensions, and plus the benefits that they get when they even retire. You know what? They're laughing at us. They're actually peeing on us, if you want to know the truth. And yet they're the ones that are so enlightened and so forth. I'm just so frustrated by the whole thing. And then they want to raise the tax up to like 10%, just the income tax. You got to get out of the state. There's just no reason to be here. I can't convince the wife of that. But anyway, I just want to vent.
Thanks for the call, Ed. We're here to allow you to vent. We're all tired of getting R. Kelly'd.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
That was a little too soon, a little too graphic.
That's not him on that tape.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Unfortunately, I saw the tape. Hey, but you're going to see the weather because you're going to see some sunshine. I won't say what I was thinking. And it's going to be warmer, but we might have a shower in spots late this afternoon. A high of 68 degrees. Then tomorrow, mostly cloudy, breezy, cooler, shower in the area. A high of 53.
I got a suggestion for a U of I mascot.
Okay, what?
The Gambling Illini.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
reflective
good.
of Illinois culture these days.
All right, let's go to the roadways. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. We have losers all around on the roadways. Travel times are high. The Kennedy, an hour and 5 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 35 minutes from Montrose, 25 in the Express. Outbound, 45 minutes to the airport. Eden's inbound at Foster. Stall in the center lane. It's 30 minutes either way between Lake Cook and the junction. The Eisenhower, an hour and 25 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, an hour 10 from Manheim. Outbound, 42 minutes to Manheim, 58 to Thorndale. Crash at St. Charles on the right shoulder. Stevenson, an hour and 15 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound, 40 minutes. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound slow, 122 O'Plain. Northbound, we see scattered delays. Southwest Highway to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Adams Tollway really tied up now. Bartlett Road to 53. Jim Talamonte in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
Guys, when it comes to your health, do you know your numbers? Now, you might know your blood pressure and cholesterol, but do you know your testosterone number? I know my number. That's because Low T Center makes it easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and because their lab is on site, you know your results within minutes. If you notice a decline in energy, stamina, or libido, you may have low testosterone. Low testosterone makes you feel tired and grumpy. It can also raise your cholesterol and cause weight gain. Low T Center's experienced medical staff will educate you on the benefits and risks of testosterone replacement. At Low T Center, services are covered by most health insurance companies, and they have flexible hours for your convenience. So do yourself a favor and call 630-409-4305 and tell them Dan Prof sent you. That number, 630-409-4305, or go to lowtcenter.com. It's so important businesses who share conservative values work together and support each other so our companies thrive. If you're a manufacturer, I encourage you to call Laz Kolchar from Automated Systems. As a software and systems integration company, they create custom solutions to make your production lines, facilities, and plants run more efficiently. Imagine less downtime, more speed, and fewer rejects. It doesn't matter if you're a Fortune 500 or startup. Automated Systems delivers solutions for your toughest automation challenges. At Freedom Summit, Laz wowed the crowd with the story of escaping communism, coming to the U.S., and building a successful company. And I know that Laz and Automated Systems can wow your company by making it more profitable. If you even suspect that Automated Systems could benefit your manufacturing company, then call Laz at Automated Systems at 844-HIRE-ASI or visit automatedsys.com. The number again, 844-HIRE-ASI.
The following is a paid political announcement.
They're made.
bought, and we pay the price. Sellout politicians like Congressman Todd Young. Special interests and Mitch McConnell have spent $1 million buying Young a promotion to the Senate. He owes them, not us. Young does as he's told. He voted to raise the debt limit over $2 trillion and voted to fund Obamacare and Obama's amnesty plan. Say no to Congressman Young. We don't need another sellout in Washington. When did Republicans lose their backbone, their guts, their conviction? Some will say they stood up to Obama. That's easy. But who stood up to their own party? That's Marlin Stutzman. Marlin voted against John Boehner, fought sweetheart deals on both sides, and even wrote his own federal budget that actually balances. Marlin knows when Republicans bend, America breaks. Stand strong, Marlin. Conservative Marlin Stutzman for Senate.
I'm Marlin Stutzman, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Stutzman for Senate.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, now just talking about U of I, since that was the college in question here with the protesting of Governor Rauner. According to a 2011, so this is outdated, sure the numbers went up. The average pay for all academic personnel, $105,000.
Wow.
Plus $26,000 in fringe benefits. That's the average. Average for a professor, average is $135,000. Max pay $321,000.
Whoa.
So, so this is why I say figure out how to get your house in order to reduce the overall cost of providing education. Conference peers seem to be able to do it. Why not U of I and the other state schools? Larry in Bloomingdale, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning. Talking about a new mascot, I'm reminded by one of the dolls my nieces had. How about it's from Remco? It cries and it wets its pants, just a baby cry doll.
Baby, yeah. Well, thanks for the call there. I appreciate giving form to my function. Pretty good.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer. And now, a moment of objectivism with your Ron Brook and the Ayn Rand Institute.
True love is selfless, we commonly hear, but philosopher and novelist Ayn Rand rejected that idea. A selfless love is a contradiction in terms. It would mean that you have no personal stake in the relationship. Instead, romantic love is profoundly selfish. It's a union of mind and body that both people pursue for their own happiness. Ayn Rand wrote that only a rational, selfish man, a man of self-esteem, is capable of love. That's because we love what we personally value, and love is profoundly demanding. To quote a famous line from Ayn Rand's novel, The Fountainhead, to say I love you, one must first know how to say the I. You can learn more about Ayn Rand's thought-provoking perspective on love, sex, and human relationships at ARIradio.com. From the Ayn Rand Institute, I'm Yaron Brook.
This has been a moment of objectivism from the Ayn Rand Institute. To learn more, listen to the Yaron Brook Show, Saturdays at 4 on AM 560, and visit ARIradio.com.
Why are Ayn Rand's ideas so compelling? Her worldview, her philosophy, expressed dramatically in her novels Atlas Shrugged and The Fountainhead, embodies the ideals stated by the Founding Fathers in the Declaration of Independence and sets forth the requirements necessary to achieve a flourishing life. She called her philosophy objectivism and said it was a philosophy for living on Earth. Today, decades after her death, objectivism continues to stir debate and inspire passion for the spirit of individualism and the enduring American dream.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing, independently owned business bank. Signature Bank listens to your story, learns about your business, and sticks with their customers. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Brian Duncan, co-founder of Signature Bank. Born and raised in Chicagoland, my partners and I knew this city needed a locally owned business bank. As fellow entrepreneurs, we know the challenges facing businesses, and we are invested in our customers' success. We are here to build mutually beneficial, long-term, lasting relationships with our customers. We look forward to helping our customers reach their goals every day, and we are here to see them succeed. At Signature Bank, you work directly with decision makers who understand your business and can deliver on their promises.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Kid, if something in this facility breaks, bends, or bursts, Grainger's got our back. 20 cases of disc springs from Grainger.com, new rotary encoder ordered on Grainger's mobile app, a dozen splash goggles from the local Grainger branch. What more could you want in life? Grainger has over 1 million products for all our facilities' needs. 1 million. That's a 1 followed by 6 zeros, kid. Everything we need whenever we need it. Get it? Got it? Good. Call, click Grainger.com, or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We're so excited about our sold-out golf outing at the Bolingbrook Golf Club coming up on Thursday, June 16th to benefit Operation Support Our Troops America.
If you weren't able to get in this year, don't worry. You can still reserve a tee time at the Bolingbrook Golf Club anytime this spring or summer by visiting BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
And thanks to the sponsors who are making our golf outing possible.
Remax Professionals, Charity Golf International, Dr. Amy and Associates, MJ Miller and Company Jewelers in Barrington, Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli, and Pearl Mortgage. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Can Trump close it out today? We want to hear from you Hoosiers at 8:08.
Yeah, the polls are open, and so is Mike Scott in the newsroom. Good morning, Mike.
Ted Cruz, a no-show at a morning campaign stop. Fox is following that developing story for you this morning. And here in Chicago, an attempted child abduction. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. An American has been killed in combat in Iraq. The third victim of enemy fire in the fight against ISIS since October.
A defense official tells Fox News ISIS attacked Kurdish forces this morning, roughly 20 miles north of Mosul, where U.S. forces are advising the Peshmerga near the front lines. The U.S. military carried out more than 20 airstrikes during the battle.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson traveling with Defense Secretary Carter, who announced the death in Germany. There's a funeral today for 6 of the 8 people from the same family murdered in Ohio last month. The state's attorney general says there will be ample security. The killer or killers are still on the loose. It's primary day in Indiana.
I think we're going to have a great voter turnout.
Donald Trump's confident.
People are tired of what's happening with these, politicians, and they're just tired of seeing our country get ripped off.
Ted Cruz hopes this is the state to stop Trump's momentum.
Indiana has a national platform, has a national megaphone.
Fox's Jeff Manasso live in South Bend.
Dave, the lines are long at polling places across the state as Indiana decides whether or not Ted Cruz has a shot at blocking Donald Trump.
It's like a circus, so it's almost over. Hopefully, we get what we want.
This Cruz supporter rallied with him last night in Indianapolis while outside Trump's rally here in South Bend.
Basically what Donald's saying is, if I'm going to give an inch, you're going to give me something back.
And I think we do need somebody in there other than a career politician.
Though this decisive race for both sides, Dave, will be all about turnout for the 57 winner-take-most GOP delegates up for grabs here today.
Now, Jeff, polls show a tight Democrat race in Indiana. Bernie Sanders hopes to rack up his 18th win, but Hillary Clinton still has a huge delegate lead. Amid a lot of grief and sorrow in Kenya, hope. A baby girl was found alive this morning in the rubble of a building that collapsed on Friday. She had no physical injuries, just dehydration. 23 others died. 93 more remain missing, some perhaps also trapped alive. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Sunshine and 46 degrees. It's 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A suburban Buffalo Grove woman fighting for her life this morning in Wisconsin. She was shot in the neck while driving home from the Wisconsin Dells. Tracy Chakowski was wounded in the neck Sunday while riding with her family on I-90-94 near Lake Delton, Wisconsin. Authorities believe those gunshots were fired by a person in an SUV who was wanted for an earlier murder. That suspect was eventually shot by law enforcement and taken into custody. Mayor Emanuel is backing a proposed ordinance that would raise the surcharge on house-sharing services like Airbnb. Under that measure, customers would be charged 4% on their bills instead of the current 2%. Now, the Emanuel administration says that extra revenue generated would go to fund city programs like the homeless. Mayor Emanuel stood on Wacker Drive yesterday to announce the beginning of construction of what will be eventually the city's third tallest building, the 1,200-foot Wanda Vista Tower. Designed by Chicago's award-winning architect Janine Gang and financed in part by the China Wanda Group, the 95-story tower near Lake Michigan will house hotel, condo, and retail spaces. Chicago sports, Cubs over Pittsburgh 7-2. The news, a service of TimeshareExitTeam.com. Do you feel like you're trapped in your timeshare contract? Get out now safely and legitimately with TimeshareExitTeam.com. They will get you out or get you a full refund. 844-321-EXIT, 844-321-EXIT. 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network, a service of Turnkey.pro. Here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Estee Lauder will be eliminating hundreds of positions around the world. The beauty products chain says sales are up so far this year, but it is restructuring and will cut between 900 and 1,200 positions. Starwood, the hotel chain about to be purchased by Marriott, says business improved in its first quarter and its earnings were better than expected. Starwood includes Westin, Sheraton, and Regis hotels. Drug company Pfizer is predicting a better year. It recently ended its merger with Allergan. Pfizer makes Lipitor and Viagra. It says sales improved for its new and established medications. Drugstore chain CVS reported a better than expected quarter, though it says sales of makeup, food, and over-the-counter medicines declined. Teen retail chain Aeropostale will be filing for bankruptcy protection. It will close more than 100 of its 800 stores. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity can read between the lines.
There is a strategy that has emerged among all of these prominent Republicans that they want to bring in a white knight candidate, an outsider. They want another person. And you want to know why? Because if you're a Cruz supporter, they think you're stupid. If you're a Trump supporter, they think you're stupid.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
You're a small to mid-sized business with 300 to 3,000 employees. You face the same network security challenges as big businesses do, but can't support a big IT investment, leaving your doors open to advanced cyber threats. Barracuda next-generation firewalls provide all the core features of enterprise firewalls and UTMs, but without hidden costs and deployment hurdles, making owning a big business firewall no big deal for your SMB. Reclaim your network. Try a Barracuda next-gen firewall risk-free at barracuda.com/firewall.
Focus. You need it to run a business, so don't let legal questions distract you. Use LegalZoom instead. Things like lease agreements and employment laws get complicated, but they're part of running a business. That's why LegalZoom built a network of independent attorneys in 48 states. You can rely on them for the legal details without paying by the hour, since LegalZoom isn't a law firm. So focus on growing your business and use LegalZoom for the legal stuff. LegalZoom. Legal help is here.
People all across the country are enjoying the flexibility of working when they want, earning extra money on their schedule when they drive with Uber.
With Uber, you can write your own paycheck. You sign up, you get approved, and you start earning money right away. Right away, like the next day. Turn it on when you want to make money, you turn it off when you don't. It's just that simple. What are you waiting for?
Enjoy the flexibility of working when you want, earning extra money on your schedule. Sign up to Drive with Uber today. Go to drivewithuber.com. That's drivewithuber.com.
It is 8:07 in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. I-80 eastbound traffic is stop and go. Richards to before Cherry Hill due to a crash. Westbound slow Gallagher to Cherry Hill. Eden's 25 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 35. Kennedy, 1 hour from O'Hare to downtown, outbound 45 minutes. The Eisenhower is an hour and 20 minutes from Thorndale to the post office. A full hour from Manheim, outbound 45 minutes to Manheim, an hour 5 to Thorndale after a crash at St. Charles. Stevenson, an hour and 10 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 40 minutes. Orion, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound tied up from 21 to 120. Northbound from 115th most of the way to 31st. And from the Cermak Toll to North Avenue. Eastbound Adams Tollway, bumper to bumper. Bartlett Road to 53. Reagan Tollway slow 31 to Eola. And it's also heavy from 83 to the Tri-State. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today will be partly sunny with a shower in spots later this afternoon, high of 68. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a couple of showers, mainly later with a low 46. A shower in the area tomorrow, breezy and cooler, high 53. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
47 at O'Hare, 51 along the lakefront, still 37 in Aurora. Your next news update is at 8:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Turnkey IT, giving you the freedom to focus on your business while they handle the technical stuff. Turnkey IT.
Good morning. Welcome to your Tuesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
If we win, it's over. And then I can focus. Then I don't have to worry about lying Ted Cruz, and I don't care if he endorses me or does. I couldn't care less.
Will you support his candidacy if he, Donald Trump, gets the delegates before Cleveland?
Dana, nobody's going to get to 1237. I'm not going to get to it, but neither is Donald Trump.
Your piece accused Bernie of demagoguery. He is a demagogue, railing against billionaires as if that's the real problem. Sure. The real problem is we have a difficult, shifting global economy, in which, by the way, the United States is doing better than almost any other country on the planet.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So if you're a Hoosier, who are you voting for today? If you're not a Hoosier, you're just committing voter fraud. Who are you voting for today? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line, 646-368, turnkey.pro. Text line. And if you're not a Trump supporter, are you going to cling to Never Trump? You're going to cling to that hashtag, or are you open to the possibility of supporting Trump as the nominee for the Republican Party for President of the United States? Because, according to a Rasmussen poll that actually has Trump in a dead heat with Hillary Clinton, a third of Republican primary voters are still unwilling at this time to commit to voting for Trump as the nominee. So take your calls and texts on that. I want to
change.
What's it? Well,
Who's
yeah,
the
of
number
course it's
one
gonna
Never
change.
Trump?
The number one Never Trump?
Is it Crystal? He's the one who's saying Never Trump, and he's slowly warming up to.
Well, Bill Kristol, Weekly Standard.
Yes.
Yeah, he said on a program yesterday that he'll never say never. He's coming. He's finally coming around to the reality. Trump is going to be the nominee. So but I think there's going to be a variety of opinions. I mean, I think there's some people who say, and we've got a 708 texter who said never Trump means never Trump. That people are not going to vote for Donald Trump, and I think it's largely based on character reasons, even if they have some differences in policy positions on matters like trade. I think it's largely about character. But speaking of character, I want to offer this YouTube video that started to get some play yesterday. This is a video that was authored by a African-American female executive with the Trump company. Her name is or with one of Trump's companies. I don't know which. She doesn't identify. Her name is Lynn Patton, and she talks about her experience with the Trump family.
Today I was compelled to sit down and write this letter, not to anyone in particular, maybe even just for myself. But as a black female executive at the Trump Organization, I can no longer remain silent about the repeated and reprehensible attempts to align my boss and his family with racist hate-mongering groups, campaigns, and messaging. As the daughter of a man born in Birmingham, Alabama, who rose against all odds to become one of the most established and respected doctors at Yale University, there is no amount of money in the world that could buy my loyalty to a family that subscribed to such intolerant and bigoted ideologies. The Trump family that I know is, without question, one of the most generous, compassionate, and philanthropic families I've ever had the privilege of knowing and the honor to call friends. They have been incredibly loyal to me and to the countless dedicated people they employ around the world, hiring more minority and female executives than any other company for which I've ever worked.
So how about that?
Tissue?
Yeah. I thought Sarah McLachlan was going to break in there.
In the arms of an angel.
Exactly. But it's one perspective. I assume this is a legitimate person, and she is who she says she is. So there is this perspective of people who actually know him, and we've talked about this before.
Yeah, and I've heard his daughter say that before, that he's very fair and to women.
Well, yes.
And that he hires women and pays them more than men in certain situations, and
Well, but it's more interesting to hear from people who are not family members, obviously. And we've heard this before about kind of the private Trump being less of the witless ape than the public Trump often is. And so, how do you separate the two? I don't know.
How do you get to warm up to the other side of Trump?
I still feel like he's a bit of an Elmer Gantry, but I know what Hillary is, and that's a pathological liar. So I'm definitely in the never Hillary camp. Could I be persuaded to be in the hold my nose and vote for Trump camp?
Oh, Dan. Is there a shift in the paradigm here? Are you leaning towards the Trumpster?
Well,
Are you ruling Ted Cruz out already? I mean, we still have the hope of Indiana.
Well, that's right. I mean, Cruz, if he wins today, then it's certainly not over. Now, Trump doesn't need Indiana the way that Cruz does. Trump can still get to 1237 plus without Indiana. But if he wins today, then the math is inexorable. If he doesn't, then we go certainly through June 7th. And I think Cruz actually goes through June 7th anyway. I mean, you've got a newly minted ticket. And you should roll through some other states. You have a chance to win, pile up some more delegates, add to your leverage in terms of being a party player, and maybe spend the next month trying to tamp down some of the antagonism and ridicule and silliness between the two camps. That's probably not a bad idea either.
Looking ahead, May 10th, May 17th, Nebraska, Oregon, then Washington. And remember, he's conceding that to Kasich.
He's conceding.
Remember, that's part of the deal?
He's Oregon and New Mexico.
And New Mexico, yeah.
Let's go to a Hoosier. Randy in Munster, Indiana.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. Randy down here in Munster. How you doing this morning?
Good.
Hey, I just went and voted, and I voted for Trump and Stutzman, okay?
Okay.
And just two more quick points. I love you guys listening to your conversation yesterday about George Will. I go to downtown Chicago, and I don't see any skyscrapers named George Will Tower, okay?
Okay, well, I'm not sure that's a qualification for president. Why did you vote for Trump?
He can't be bought. And you're right about there's two sides about him. He knows how to market the product, and he knows how to act in the boardroom, and he knows how to negotiate. But most of all, he can't be bought, and that's why they can't stand him.
All right, thanks for the call, Randy. Nancy in Bucktown.
Hello?
Hi, Nancy.
Hi, good morning. Here's my mantra. I am a Cruz supporter, but I don't care if the Republicans put up a goat. You must vote. We cannot have Hillary.
Too. Yeah.
You got it.
Thanks for the call, Nancy. I agree. I would vote for this paper cup that's holding my coffee over Hillary Clinton. There's no question about that. Matt on the north side.
Hi. Am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
Okay. Yeah. One of the things I'm afraid of is a situation like Illinois had with Alan Keyes running for Senate from a couple of years ago. And I mean, that was a disaster, but then again, that was the Illinois Republican Party setting out this guy and
I think that's
totally screwing the pooch.
I think it's a bad analogy. One, you're not going to see a replacement nominee for Trump. Number two, Trump is not going to lose the country 70-30. So, but your point about a down ballot effect, I think, is a legitimate concern, and it's one that many share. Thanks for the call, Matt. But I think it's going to be mixed. I think Trump may hurt on some races in some states, like in Illinois. Think about maybe the suburbs. I'm thinking state legislative races, for example. But in central and southern Illinois, he may help. He may drive more turnout that is inclined to throw longtime incumbents out, particularly those that are aligned with the political ruling class in Springfield,
Donald
and
Trump
so may provide a benefit.
Yeah, he's bringing people out of the closet who haven't voted in years, I think.
All right, and maybe one of them is Steve in Villa Park, who's on Chicago's Morning Answer. Hey, Steve.
Hi, Dan and Amy. Joe Walsh posed the question last week, and he asked, why vote for Trump? And I have actually a simple answer, and that's because he gives me hope. He gives me hope that by voting for him, because he's different, we might actually have a change.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Steve. Hope is a powerful thing.
Yeah,
it's the most important thing.
That's what he had. You got hope, Dan?
I'll tell you what, as I famously said in my role in Shawshank Redemption as Red, you got to get busy living or get busy dying. So, I hold to that. And I thought I was very good in a supporting role.
It was one of your crowning moments, really.
Thank you. Verlin on the south side.
All right, now, how y'all doing today?
Good.
Now, as y'all know, I'm just like you, Amy. I went through about 4 or 5 candidates before I got to Cruz. I held out hope for Cruz as long as possible. Now, I'm just going to hold my nose and take my medicine, Dan, and I hope you do too. I got my anybody but Hillary sign ready. I'm voting for Trump. I'm all in. I'm with Trump.
Wow.
Thanks for the call, Verlin. That's great. Well, and Verlin will be easy to spot on the south side. He'll be the house that has the anybody but Hillary sign in front of it. Sean in Elmwood Park.
Titillating defenses of voting for the old woman bottom heavy with the comb over. But listen, you're wrong about the personality. I love the personality. Are you kidding me? Swimsuit model trophy wives, your own plane, golf clubs, enough money to pretend you're just one of the guys in that size 48 short suit with the comb over. That is a wonderful personality. It is for his fundamental Fabian socialism, his totalitarian despotism, that I would never support this fraudulent D-student buffoon. And where are these transcripts of the private school? Because I'm guessing his father had to pull a Rodney Dangerfield and build a library to keep this moron in school. He's a D-student, totalitarian demigod, supported by morons beneath his wings, hoping that non-morons will at least say, he's not Hillary Clinton. Good strategy, morons. And by the way, Ryan, your budget, you're already over, idiot. So these Republicans are fools, and you could have them all.
Thanks for the call, Sean. I don't think Sean is going to be an instrument of party unity this cycle.
I don't think so.
Get busy living or get busy dying.
The George Will?
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Some high clouds, but just a gorgeous day, warmer, but we do have a chance of a quick shower this afternoon. No heavy downfalls. A high of 68 degrees. Tomorrow, things are going to change around here. It's going to be cloudy, breezy showers, mainly later, and a high only of 53 degrees. Anything great on the roadways? Here's Jim Telemonte.
Pretty heavy this morning, Amy. The Kennedy inbound is an hour from O'Hare to downtown, 35 minutes from Montrose, 25 on the Express. Outbound, 45 minutes to the airport. Crash at Diversey in the left lane. Eden's outbound at Pratt. There's a crash in the left lane. It's 45 minutes, Montrose to Lake Cook. The delays continue most of the way to Winnetka Road. Inbound 25 minutes, Lake Cook to the junction. The Ike, no improvement. An hour and 20 minutes, Thorndale to downtown. Outbound an hour and 5 minutes after crash at St. Charles. Stevenson, an hour and 5 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 40 minutes. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Lakeshore Drive is tied up southbound Bryn Mawr to North Avenue and 18th to the Stevenson. Northbound from the Stevenson to Jackson. Tri-State southbound slow, 120 to 137. Northbound in pockets from Southwest Highway to 31st and from the Cermak toll to North Avenue. The other tollways are heavy too. Jim Talamonte on the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
Hey, the weather is finally getting warmer, and it's a great time to appreciate America's national parks. AM 560 The Answer is giving away copies of National Geographic's Guide to National Parks of the United States, as well as Kids National Park Guides. One grand prize winner will receive a National Geographic Parks library, a pair of binoculars, and a $100 gas card. Visit AM 560 mobile app now to register. For a chance to win a National Geographic Expeditions family trip to Grand Canyon, Bryce, and Zion National Parks. So visit www.nationalparksweeps.com.
Freedom! On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to drill down and talk about the big ideas behind the big issues. That's where Upstream Ideas comes in. Upstream Ideas, online at upstream-ideas.com, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted orthodoxies. In other words, Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now to upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to spur you on to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit more free, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
I have struggled with irritable bowel syndrome for 40 years. Really struggled with it. And I want you to know that since I have been taking Balance of Nature, I don't have it anymore.
That
But
is
I mean, after
fantastic.
40 years, I'm 75 years old, and after 40 years of struggling with this, and early on taking all kinds of medication and this, that, and the other thing, back in October, I was able to cancel my appointment with the gastroenterologist. So, your products have made my life. They have improved the quality of my life so tremendously. I can't be grateful enough. So please thank you all, and please, if you ever have a chance to, please thank Dr. Howard.
Good health is just a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Call now and take the health challenge to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
You want more than just the headlines? Find out what's going on and what it means with me, Dennis Prager, this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, we better take this Hoosier. I mean, this is all Hoosiers. Hoosiers have priority today.
Yes, they do.
Janice in Dyer, Indiana. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan, Amy, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine. I voted last week for Ted Cruz simply because one of my Facebook friends from Indianapolis area had stated about the long lines, even pre-voting day today, and I thought, uh-oh, it's going to be a nightmare. So I encouraged my husband, got my daughter out there, and we all voted for Ted Cruz. And I do try to educate people on not listening to the hype, and I don't know if you saw the exchange between Ted Cruz and the Trump supporter down in Marion, Indiana, but the guy wouldn't even listen to him. What is wrong with these people?
It's tough to break through with some people. Thanks for the call, Janice.
And then this morning in Indianapolis, at some polling place, somebody called Ted Cruz a fish monster and a terrible person. I mean, they're kind of getting nasty.
A fish monster?
A fish monster. I've never heard that before. You have a fish monster face. What is that? I mean, that's what's making the headlines, that someone confronted him and said that to him.
Well, here's some of the reasons, good examples of what's going on culturally, some of the reasons that Trump's methods are attracting support. Curt Schilling. Curt Schilling fired from ESPN for suggesting the revolutionary notion that adult men don't belong in the same bathroom with little girls. He was fired.
Yeah, he paid a hefty price for that.
Now ESPN, their 30 for 30 documentary series.
Oh, I love those series.
They're very good. They've edited it to eliminate Curt Schilling from his own history.
Oh, from Game 6 from the ACLS?
Yeah, we've got to scrub Curt Schilling from the history books now and from the documentaries because he is taken the position that he's taken. So the documentary, the ESPN 30 for 30, and the 2004 ALCS, where the Red Sox came back to beat the Yankees, went on to win their first championship in a millennium. And then, as you were referencing, the iconic Game 6, the bloody sock game.
Oh, yeah, I'll never forget it. It was raining out and drizzling, and there was just blood oozing.
Yeah, you will forget
from
it.
His foot, and it was on the mound. I mean, it was so, you couldn't turn it off. You had to watch the game.
You will forget it because it's edited out of the ESPN 30 for 30 documentary.
But they can't change history, Dan.
They can, because then you will be sent to the re-education center where that memory will be stripped from your memory banks. That's the next thing that's going to happen. Anybody who saw that documentary will have to go get a lobotomy.
How could you do a documentary 4 days in October and not include that? That's
just how they did it. You just edited them out. You just pretend it didn't happen.
Just erase history.
Well, that's what we do.
So they're carrying out a grudge against Curt Schilling still. Firing him was not enough.
This is the Orwellian world in which we live. By the way, Foothill High School principal Jim Bartow, Palo Cedro, California, who won't let two lesbians be prom king and prom queen.
Yeah, we talked about it an hour ago. Don't tell me he got fired.
No, he doesn't exist. He is going to be removed from all of the Foothill High School principal
Wall of Fame.
The flyers, any information about that. Jim Bartow will be scrubbed from history as well. That's what we need to do. It's not just enough to silence people. People that don't share your viewpoint, it's not just enough to call them Hitler on social media. People that don't share your viewpoint have to be scrubbed from history. It's about time, frankly.
Shame on ESPN. But I have to watch them because they play my Hawkeye games sometimes.
Yeah, you're forced to. Oh, by the way, Jason Riley also attempting to be scrubbed from history, at least Virginia Tech history. Jason Riley, the accomplished writer, former Wall Street Journal editorial board member, an African-American gentleman who wrote the book, Please Stop Helping Us, How Liberals Make It Harder for Blacks to Succeed. His invitation to speak at Virginia Tech was rescinded because he's conservative, that's why. And now, hopefully, Jason Riley will be scrubbed from any mention in the Wall Street Journal. All of his academic work shall be eliminated, and anybody who's read that, again, those memories will be gaslighted. The overlords will put in place false memories for all of us, so we remember a better time when there weren't the Kurt Schillings of the world and the Jason Rileys and the principal in California. We need to forget these things ever happened. Oh, no, I'm done.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Have you found a gift for your mom on Mother's Day yet?
It's Mother's Day?
Yeah, this Sunday, May 8th.
It's May?
Man, you better get on it.
Well, the gas station down the street from me sells cards.
You cannot get your mom a Mother's Day gift at the same place you buy pork rinds.
I can't imagine what else I'd get her.
You should get her a heartstrings customized locket.
What's that?
It's a little glass locket you fill with charms. You can get them at the kiosk at Orland Square Mall and at Gurney Mills and the Macy's wing this weekend.
Sure, but what kind of charms would I pick out?
They have a locket specialist that will help. Maybe something that says Special Mom or birthstones for you and your presumably more grateful siblings. There are over 900 varieties of charms to pick from. They're really affordable, and I promise not to tell her.
You know, if this were one of those slice of life radio commercials, you'd tell me their web address right now.
You can also find them online at yourheartstring.com. That's YOUR heartstring.com.
All right, I suppose that's better than a card.
Good. Now what are you getting your wife?
Ugh.
Don't worry, Heartstrings customized lockets. Put your love in a locket. Now at Orland Square Mall and Gurney Mills. Find us at yourheartstring.com.
Many of you own or manage growing companies, and you know that your entire business depends on your phones. If your phone service provider struggles to deliver your calls, it can mean lost revenue. That's often the case with an outdated phone system. The solution? Well, it's a company that we use here at AM 560, Innovative Networks. They excel at providing innovative solutions to reinforce your company's phone infrastructure and enhance call flow. We truly appreciate how comprehensive, diligent, and cost-effective Innovative Networks was in providing solutions that scale as our business expands. Innovative Networks can even replace your outdated phone system at no cost and provide hands-on training to maximize your capabilities. You'll save money and be more focused on growing your business. Here at AM 560, we're thrilled with Innovative Networks. So follow our lead and call Innovative Networks at 312-453-7777. They're rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau. Call 312-453-7777 or visit them online at go4inet.com. That's go, the number 4, INET.com.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
A 100-year-old woman has a faster 40 time than Tom Brady at 8:38.
And how your armpits can determine your next mate. We'll explain, but first into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
I think they're fine. I think I've done fine. 30 years of marriage, my armpits have done fine. Clouds and sun, 49 degrees outside. A U.S. service member has been killed by ISIS fighters in northern Iraq. It's a developing story we'll continue to follow for you throughout the day. We're getting details from Defense Secretary Ash Carter, who gave few details on the incident, only that for the moment it was a combat death. The ISIS attack was met by airstrikes carried out by American and coalition aircraft as well. Detroit Teachers Union members say their teachers are not showing up for class again today. The second straight day, teachers will stay away from class. Their sick out yesterday closed just about all of the schools in Detroit. Presidential primary day in Indiana, the last chance for Republican hopeful Ted Cruz to slow frontrunner Donald Trump's momentum. Trump believes there will be a great voter turnout today as he talked with Fox News.
People are tired of what's happening with these, politicians, and they're just tired of seeing our country get ripped off.
Trump declaring himself the GOP presumptive nominee. Tony Award nominations announced. The Broadway hit Hamilton leading the way. The hip-hop musical about founding father Alexander Hamilton picking up a record-setting 16 nods. A pair of teenage boys found dead in following two separate Southside shootings here in Chicago. A 14-year-old shot last night On Ashland Avenue, a 15-year-old suffering multiple gunshot wounds several hours later, walking through an alley. Mayor Emanuel backing a proposed ordinance that would raise the surcharge on house sharing services like Airbnb. Under the measure, customers would be charged 4% on their bills instead of the current 2%. And that empty Mitsubishi Motors plant in the central Illinois city of Bloomington has been sold to a Michigan auction company for a large price tag but undisclosed. Mitsubishi ended production in November at the Normal plant, actually, and 1,200 workers were laid off. Cubs over Pittsburgh 7-2. The news service of Subway introducing the new Subway carved turkey and bacon sandwich. Delicious, thick-cut, all-white meat, oven-roasted turkey, topped with Applewood smoked bacon and cheese. Subway, fresh is what we do. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher tells you who he voted for in the New York primary.
I voted for the Republican that I feel will be the most qualified to lead this country out of the darkness of 8 years of Barack Obama, who's best poised to beat the Hillary machine, can inspire, enlighten, and lead this country. That's the Republican I voted for.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Here Maps, the app that turns your phone into a car navigation system with offline maps and turn-by-turn guidance. Get it now at here.com/guide.
CertaPro painters are here for every stage of your life, from moving into a new home, creating the ideal nursery, to reinventing your living space. CertaPro painting experts create the perfect setting while you do life. They came to our home and brightened our walls and our moods so very quiet they wouldn't wake a baby. But the best part? They clean up after themselves so you don't have to do it. And now that spring is here, it is the perfect time to spruce up your home's exterior. Take a look at your home. Do you see chipping, peeling, fading? Well, leave it to CertaPro painting experts to refresh, renew, and protect your biggest investment, your home. Now is the time to call for your free estimate and schedule your exterior painting project. 1-800-GO-CERTA, 1-800-GOCERTA. That's CERTA with the C. Or visit CertaPro.com today, CertaPro.com. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
Townstone Financial is synonymous with great rates, low closing costs, and phenomenal service to the thousands who have completed purchases and refinances with us since 2002. Hi, my name is Barry Sterner, owner of Townstone Financial. Let's hear about the Townstone experience from one of our customers.
My name is Brian Cole. I'm a realtor locally here in Chicago with Catchline Properties. My buyers were actually sellers, and Townstone made it an incredibly smooth process from start to end. My buyer for the mortgage ended up getting an incredibly low interest rate. I make it a point to send all my buyers to get qualified through Townstone Financial. If there is a specific date we are looking to close on, Zach, Barry, and the rest of the Townstone Financial team will go out of their way to make it a point that things will get done and get done properly.
Remember, nobody values your business more than Townstone Financial, and I'm always available to answer your questions. Call me now, Barry Sterner, 312-896-2111. That's 312-896-2111. Or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financials, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Illinois, mortgage license C 6629 and NMLS 136639. Equal housing lender.
8:37. Let's get an update on the roads at our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. And Wheeling Dundee is closed in both directions between Milwaukee Avenue and Portwine due to a crash. Eastbound I-80 jammed Larkin to before Cherry Hill. There's a collision on the right shoulder. Eden's inbound 25 minutes. Lake Hook to the junction up on 45. Crash at Pratt in the left lane. Kennedy 55 minutes. O'Hare to downtown outbound 50. At Diversey, there's a crash blocking 2 left lanes. The Eisenhower, an hour and 20 minutes. Thorndale to the Loop, outbound an hour and 5 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 5 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 40 minutes. Ryan is 30 minutes. 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound, slow 120 to 137. Northbound 95th to 87th from the Stevenson to 31st and from the Cermak Toll to North Avenue. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. Partly sunny and warmer. Maybe a few showers in spots this afternoon. High of 68. We're warming up all over the area now. 49 at O'Hare, 54 along the lakefront, 52 Midway, 45 in Aurora. Your next news update is at 9, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Health Quest Radio with Dr. David Kolbaba. Health Quest Radio is heard Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock here on AM 560, The Answer.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So, Amy, you're like an exerciser. You run 100-meter dashes, right? You jazzercise. What do you do?
Well, I've completed 3 marathons, and I try and do a few 5Ks a year. And I'm currently, I don't know if you got the memo, I'm currently an assistant to the assistant of the Blaine track and field team for 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th grade boys and girls. So I'm stepping up.
Wow.
Now I'm with the upperclassmen.
Well, maybe someday you can graduate to coaching in the Penn Relays.
Oh.
Penn Relays for individuals, athletes, 80 and older.
Oh, there's hope for you because you're getting closer. I mean, you just turned 74.
I have
right.
6 years before I qualify, much like I have, well, my actual age. I have 6 years before I can try out for the senior tour. Me and Michael Jordan.
Oh, my gosh. Is that what you're trying to do?
This is my dream.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You can do it.
Well, or to
If you
play
don't
for
have
the
tequila the night before.
or to play for the Globetrotters. I'm not
Oh.
sure which is more achievable.
Try the Wizards first.
So this Penn Relays, 80 years and older athletes, 80 years and older.
Penn Relays.
Penn Relays.
I
Mixed
like to see people you're talking
mixed gender event.
for now.
So it was nice, ahead of its time. And one of the participants, this was covered by NBC Sports.
It's the Penn Relays?
Yeah, one of the participants was Ida Keeling, who electrified the crowd with her 100-meter dash.
I'm looking at her.
That could have been timed with a sundial, but it was very fun to watch. Guess how quickly she ran the 100-meter dash?
Hold on. 2 minutes?
No.
How fast?
Guess again.
She's still running?
Here's the call.
Is she off the starting block yet?
It's not like Oprah trying to finish a marathon. She finished the race.
Across the finish line in the Masters 100 meters. And at 100 years old, that is a winner.
She set the world record, fastest 100 meters by a woman 100 years or older, Ida Keeling. 1 minute, 17.33 seconds.
What?
Yeah.
I have to see a video of
Which
this.
is
I know you just played it, but
not dissimilar to my 100-meter dash time.
Wait, you know what? Actually, I think Ida could beat you in the 100.
You want to know how she did it?
dash,
You want to know how
100-meter
she's so
dash.
spry at 100, and not just spry, but a world record holder at age 100? You want to understand it? Listen to Ida.
Well, love yourself, do what you have to do, not what you want to do. Eat for nutrition, not for taste. And exercise at least once a day.
Very good advice.
Yeah.
Okay, Dan, did you hear what she said?
Do what you
Exercise.
have to do, not what you want to do.
Mhm.
Eat for nutrition, not for taste.
Oh, that's kind of boring. But
Yeah, and then exercise at least once a day.
why do you have such a disdain look on your
Eat for
face?
nutrition and not for taste. You can have my Pizzeria Uno when you pry it from my cold, dead hand.
What about the exercising part? You used to exercise.
Yeah.
No, I mean, what's wrong with exercising? I mean, you used to exercise all the time. I
Chris-
see Ida here. Before she started the 100-meter dash, she's doing some push-ups. Wow, doing something else. Doing some yoga moves. Downward dog, a chaturanga. Were you opposed to that?
No, well, I don't know what those things are, so I don't know what position to take on them. But no, I just got a point. I mean, look, the proof is in the 100-meter time. There's no question about it.
What was that time again? 1 what?
1 minute, 17.33 seconds. That's a world record for a woman 100 years older, and she's going to be 101 in a couple of weeks. Wow. Yeah.
She's an inspiration. Good for her. And you have to be 80. So she's been competing in these games for 20 years.
She finally had her day. Not exactly Usain Bolt, but nonetheless,
No.
a world record holder to more than you or I can say.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Kind of walking. What was her time again? For the 100 meter?
Everybody's a critic. Take it easy, coach.
Sorry. But I'm not going to criticize the weather today because it's going to be gorgeous, partly sunny, warmer, a shower in spots late this afternoon, but no big deal. A high of 68 degrees. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a couple of showers, mainly later. A low, I should say, of 46 degrees. And tomorrow, we just have to get through tomorrow, and then after that, we'll have a string of warm days. But tomorrow, it's going to be a little nasty around here. Showers in places. A high only in the low 50s. Let's get those travel times. Anything nasty on the roadways? Here's Jim Telemonte.
Well, Amy, traffic's a lot slower than that young lady on your inbound Kennedy. It's jammed up from Sayre to the Burns Circle, 55 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 35 from Montrose, 28 in the Express, and the Ohio Feeder has delays too. Outbound, a crash at Diversey just cleared, but it's 55 minutes downtown to the airport. Edens, 25 minutes Lake Cook to the junction, outbound 45. Crash at Pratt in the left lane. The Eisenhower slowest of all, an hour and 20 minutes still. Thorndale to downtown, 55 minutes from Manheim. Outbound an hour 5 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 5 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound the time is 40 minutes. The Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tollways are improving, but the northbound Tri-State's still pretty heavy. Eastbound I-80 has delays with a crash before Cherry Hill. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
I just felt like running.
We're so excited about our sold-out golf outing at the Bolingbrook Golf Club coming up on Thursday, June 16th to benefit Operation Support Our Troops America.
If you weren't able to get in this year, don't worry. You can still reserve a tee time at the Bolingbrook Golf Club anytime this spring or summer by visiting BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
And thanks to the sponsors who are making our golf outing possible.
Remax Professionals, Charity Golf International, Dr. Amy and Associates, MJ Miller and Company Jewelers in Barrington, Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli, and Pearl Mortgage.
Welcome to Move Time Radio, presented by the Arthritis Foundation, and we're smack dab in the middle of our dance-a-thon to fight arthritis pain. Me, I've been grooving for 10 hours straight, baby, but I'm a boogie machine. See, movement is just one of the ways to help fight osteoarthritis pain. Another is weight loss. You get rid of just 1 pound. That's 4 pounds of pressure off each knee. For more information on managing pain, visit fightarthritispain.org. Then meet me on the dance floor. This message brought to you by the Arthritis Foundation and the Ad Council.
Are you or someone you know facing foreclosure, losing the family home? You'd be not alone. See, people, we are in the aftermath of what is being revealed to have been the greatest financial crime spree in history, perpetrated by the Wall Street investment banks smuggling and packaging mortgages, and continuing this day by the mortgage servicers that service the mortgages. I'm Lou Bridges. I have a law firm I put together. We defend foreclosure actions. We help people do strategic defaults, short sales, and modifications that include restructuring. Call us for a free consultation. We'll tell you what to look for in hiring a foreclosure defense attorney. We'll tell you some of your options. We'll give you a free consultation. But whatever you do, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, and I guarantee you'll never be alone.
Call 224-513-1231 or visit FightIllinoisForeclosures.com. That's 224-513-1231 or FightIllinoisForeclosures.com. Get real answers from a real foreclosure defense law firm.
Hi, I'm Lex Howard, CEO of Balance of Nature. Statistics show that most people will listen to this commercial 7 times before they finally purchase Balance of Nature. Don't be a statistic. Take action to determine your future.
Well, I'm pretty stupid. I should have ordered it 15 years ago. Best thing I ever got in my... It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life. Yeah, I tell everyone to get it. But, everyone gives you a wise answer. Oh, just eat good food. Well, how are you going to eat 15 fruits and whatever? Unless you lived on a farm.
I'm doing well. I definitely have more energy, and, there's a big improvement.
Begin giving your body the fruits and vegetables it needs every day. Accept and complete Dr. Howard's 120-day health challenge to earn a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues now. And make sure to stay tuned to catch me, Mike Gallagher, coming up at 9, only on AM 560, The Answer.
I want to start warming up for the general election, much like Ida Keeling.
She's still running, by the way.
She was
I just watched
running.
that video, and I just ran.
No, we are still waiting for the drug testing so
yeah.
that we don't have a Ben Johnson problem.
Well, she did. I mean, I tell people the truth. She did come in last, but she came in first in her age group and broke a world record.
Because she's the only one in her age group.
Right. And who won the race, Dan? Mr. Adcock won, and I think he's juicing. I'm just going on record. He flew through that finish line.
I don't know if I would use those words next to one another.
We're not going to play that game. What's your least favorite word game?
So, yeah.
What word makes you cringe?
Ooze. How about ooze? That's a good one.
Lube, moist. Oh, we're not going there.
Ow. So Hillary Clinton was in West Virginia doing a little...
Mountain Mama. Doing a little sit-down town hall, right?
Yeah, you were there.
Meeting with the coal miners.
You were there like it was like a Potbellies where you're doing some folk music in the corner, a cappella. Hillary Clinton meeting with coal miners, out-of-work coal miners, not particularly enthralled with her edict that she was going to put a lot of coal miners out of work and a lot of coal mining businesses out of business. One of those that was assembled, per Joe Manchin, the senator from West Virginia, who's trying to do some damage control for Hillary,
is I don't know if it worked.
A coal miner named Bo Copley. He had this to say to Hillary.
The reason you hear those people out there saying some of the things that they say is because when you make comments like, we're going to put a lot of coal miners out of jobs, these are the kind of people that you're affecting. This is my family. While my hope is in God, that's my future. I want my family to know that they have a future here in this state.
Serious business. This gets way beyond the name calling. You could hear Mr. Copley's voice cracking.
He was crying, and he was pushing a picture of his family in front of her, like, look at what who you are affecting.
Public policy impacts people's lives, positively or negatively. It's real. And unfortunately, we don't spend enough time talking about it in our political discourse.
But she believes in climate change, and she wants to end coal mining because it's bad for the environment.
Yes, and so Mr. Copley put the question to her in no uncertain terms, substantively, in a restrained manner.
I just want to know how you can say you're going to put a lot of coal miners out of jobs, and then come in here and tell us how you're going to be our friend, because those people out there don't see you as a friend.
Because that's what she does, depending on the audience, Bo. She tells you she's your friend to your face, and then she goes out to demagogue you to a different audience that has a different perspective. And Hillary Clinton did the kind of meld of those two in responding to Bo, lying to his face.
And it was a misstatement, because what I was saying is that the way things are going now, we will continue to lose jobs. That's what I meant to say, and I think that seems to be supported by the facts. I didn't mean that we were going to do it. What I said was that is going to happen unless we take action to try to help and prevent it. So I don't mind anybody being upset or angry. That's a perfect right for people to feel that way. I do feel a little bit sad and sorry that I gave folks the reason or the excuse to be so upset with me, because that is not what I intended at all.
Oh, pandering. But the West Virginia primary, both Republican and Democratic primaries, a week from today. So I guess she's trying to make some leeway. But there was a survey out that shows a lot of registered Democrats are voting Republican, voting for Trump. Because,
well, of course, West Virginia is going to go Republican in the presidential race. They've got some good old boys like Manchin that can still win statewide races. But in the presidential, it's a Republican state these days, because the left has made it a part of their agenda to destroy the coal industry. Go ask people in Southern Illinois, like Franklin County, if that's not the case.
What happened down there?
The same thing that's happening in West Virginia. Obama and Hillary Clinton have adopted an agenda that seeks to tear apart the coal industry as a source of power, electricity. And in Illinois, it's particularly relevant because we've got more coal in terms of inert energy than Saudi Arabia has oil. So this is relevant. It's relevant to people's lives. Hillary is lying. She signed on lock, stock, and barrel to the global alarmist agenda. And these are the implications of the policy choices she's made. But she is just willing to lie
But you've
in a
run
bold-faced manner to people's faces. And this is something that should be remembered by the Cackle Caucus as well as general election voters writ large.
You've run for office before. I mean, if you were in Hillary's position, why would you sit down with coal miners who have lost their job? Knowing that you said you were trying to close down and shut down coal mines and the coal mining industry. I mean, who's in charge there that thought that was a good idea?
Well, Joe Manchin is the one who made the entree, probably trying to dull the blade with Democrats who may go down ballot and vote against Democrats, not just at the presidential level, but down ballot too. Hillary, so much time is spent on Donald Trump's drag effect and down ballot races. Well, in a lot of states, you're going to see a drag effect for Hillary, too. You're also going to see a lack of energized turnout, which is why Trump, I think, is very likely to be the next president of the United States.
I don't feel no ways tired.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Tasty Catering is bringing outdoor happiness to you and your coworkers in a variety of forms this picnic season.
Down-home barbecue, street tacos, sausages and sandwiches, steaks, chops, fish, Greek feasts, pig roasts, the list goes on.
Tasty Catering picnic foods are getting more deliciously sophisticated than ever, too, which means you can meet everyone's needs with even more great picnic food options.
Organic, gluten-free, vegetarian, vegan and dairy-free options never tasted so picnicky.
Your picnic doesn't stop with amazing freshly grilled food, entertainment, rentals, decor, venue selection. Get everything you need with one single call to Tasty Catering.
Inflatables and crafts for the kids, games and athletics for the teenagers, beverage packages and entertainment options for the adults. There's so much to choose from.
The best company picnics start at tastycatering.com. View picnic menus, entertainment options, picnic spots, and more when you visit tastycatering.com.
Hi, I'm Lex Howard, CEO of Balance of Nature. Statistics show that most people will listen to this commercial 7 times before they finally purchase Balance of Nature. Don't be a statistic. Take action to determine your future.
I just have to tell you, I love Balance of Nature. I've been telling everybody about it. I can't believe how good I feel. Got my husband taking them now, and he's trying to get his mom to take them, because rarely do I take something where I feel a difference. If I'm just taking vitamin D or my multivitamin, I don't really feel a difference. But when I started taking these, I feel a difference. And I said, I can't tell you how good I feel.
Begin giving your body the fruits and vegetables it needs every day. Accept and complete Dr. Howard's 120-day health challenge to earn a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Here's a quiz. Is identity theft just when someone other than you puts charges on your credit card? Nope, that's part of it, but identity theft is actually when someone pretends they're you for any number of undesirable reasons, like opening new accounts or a utility bill. Is it true that identity theft can't happen to you? Nope. 1 in 4 people have experienced identity theft. Will LifeLock help you more with identity theft than free credit monitoring will? Yep. LifeLock's proprietary technology detects a huge range of identity threats. And if you ever have a problem, one of our US-based agents will work to resolve it. So how'd you do on the quiz? Come on, how'd you really do? No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But with LifeLock, you get a versus a when it comes to identity protection. Membership starts at just $9.99 a month plus applicable taxes. Go to LifeLock.com and enter promo code NEWS to get 10% off now. LifeLock.
The following is a paid political announcement.
They're made, bought, and we pay the price. Sellout politicians like Congressman Todd Young. Special interests and Mitch McConnell have spent $1 million buying Young a promotion to the Senate. He owes them, not us. Young does as he's told. He voted to raise the debt limit over $2 trillion and voted to fund Obamacare and Obama's amnesty plan. Say no to Congressman Young. We don't need another sellout in Washington. When did Republicans lose their backbone, their guts, their conviction? Some will say they stood up to Obama. That's easy. But who stood up to their own party? That's Marlin Stutzman. Marlin voted against John Boehner, fought sweetheart deals on both sides, and even wrote his own federal budget that actually balances. Marlin knows when Republicans bend, America